Hello! On today's show, I'm going to give Silo Season 1 its final review and get in the first 4 episodes of Secret Invasion. The all-new, all-different Cover Combat 5 is back with infinite possibilities. Pat says it's going to require a lot of legwork if you want the collectible he's showing on the horizon today. And lastly, we didn't even mention this on the last show, but the next installment of the Previews Preview is here.
Welcome to your favorite live streaming whatnotting podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space. I, as usual, am your 4th or 5th favorite podcasting host, Kevin, and I am thankfully not alone. I have first up the man with the plan, Mike.
Good morning, everyone.
And of course, the reigning Cover Combat champ, Patrick.
Hello, everyone. Hey. Kevin, you're looking, I thought for a minute there you were rejuvenated from that week off, but I rubbed my eyes and things are back to normal.
Thank you. Yeah. It's that moment when the intro is playing that the pressure of the show starts to build that I just aged like immediately. And look what happens. Terrible. Yeah. Oh, and lastly, before I forget, we also have the amazing production abilities with us today. Do you want to chime in, Karen? This is a little bit of deja vu, fellas.
She's always laughing. She's always a room full of laughter, that Karen.
Well, I'm just going to out us right now that because it's 10:15. I don't even think you can pretend for 5 seconds that's 9:30-ish. So an apology to our viewers that we actually started the show about 25 minutes ago. But due to me not adapting to change as quickly as I should with the obviously different host that I didn't even mention yet that took my spot in the opening, I forgot to hit the live button. So we literally went through 25 minutes. But, one of the reasons I love the guys in the room and, of course, my sister is you all are trying to do your best at making me not feel like a complete fool for not remembering to hit the live button. So I really appreciate that. But anyway, so that, of course, was not me in the opening. That was my youngest of 2 sons. He is a Marine on leave. He just got back from deployment. So we figured that would be a good, fun way to open the show with a little bit of change there. And he did a pretty good job.
Yep.
Even though that was his second time doing it. When we recorded this the first time, I said that was really good for his first time. That was still really good for his second time. And I'm still going to say he did way better than I did, even for my second time. So way back when, which has been a while ago now. So, all right. So yeah, in that team. In that tease, we've got a big show. So I hope you don't have any lunch plans because we're still going to be here if you know what's good for you.
Yeah. After that, snafu lunch or dinner too.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So on deck is Cover Combat. Are you ready to get into this and show everybody what for, Mike?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Oh my God, that is so awesome. And I literally do mean it. I didn't recreate that very well, but I do mean it. Man, my reaction was, that's one of the things I said about us having to redo all this. I think my reactions were good because they were obviously real and true, and I'm going to have to try to recreate as much as I can. But Patrick, this Cover Combat 5 logo is awesome. Obviously, for the listeners that can't see it, you want to get into how you came about doing this logo and maybe describe it a little bit for them?
Yeah, I had a couple ideas, excuse me, early on that were just sort of so-so, and then it just hit me. We're dealing with, multiple different universes, companies, what have you, and so I decided to rip off Crisis on Infinite Earths. Basically, just about a week ago, I started working on it, and I just had to recreate the whole thing in CAD. So it was the most work I've ever done on a logo, but I think it turned out pretty well. I tip of the hat to you, Kevin. I incorporated your V, worked out perfectly right in the middle there for the 5 and cover. And then I decided to choose some artwork to fill in the combat portion of it, and just sort of chose things that worked well within the letters and to represent the choices that were given to us by our Cover Combat leader, Mike.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, combat is 6 letters, and there's 6 of us inputting. So yeah, it was perfect. Yeah,
things worked out just kind of perfectly. So
awesome.
Yep. And then I've got the covers that Patrick used for the letters. And the interesting thing is, none of the covers that he chose in the letters were submitted by anybody.
Hold on. That's kind of crazy. You're saying that out of the covers that everyone picked for the universes / publishers they got, none of them were the same covers that Patrick picked to represent the letters?
Correct. Yep.
That is crazy.
Yep.
You know what that's a perfect setup for?
What's that? I don't know.
Whatever ends up being the best cover that lasts the longest for each universe publisher, we should do one last matchup at the end against the cover that Patrick chose for a representation of said universe publisher in the letter of Cover Combat. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It'd be like a wild card. Yeah.
Yes.
But it would also, man, I'd be upset if Patrick's beat mine.
Right.
In my own category, my own universe.
same.
Yeah. Wait.
Oh wait, yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Patrick's would beat Patrick's.
Patrick, how'd you go about picking the covers for him anyway?
There's a little bit of a cheat there because, first of all, there's some stuff we've seen before, other older submissions. In fact, there's a winner in here. Plus, I had to sort of choose covers that worked with the limited space of the cutout for the letters themselves. So I knew there was a very slim chance that I would be duplicating somebody's submission.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got, Mike?
That's what I've got.
Amazing.
We'll start off with the universes. Is that right? Is that what we're using, universe?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first universe is War, and that's in the letter C there.
Nice. That's a great cover.
It is. Unfortunately, whoever had War did not select this one. Next up is the Star Wars universe. And everybody was, I selected from a list of universes and assigned them to everybody, keeping in mind what their interests are, because I wanted this to be as fun as possible for everyone. And I think it worked out really well.
So basically, you're saying it's the opposite of what the last Cover Combat was, where people randomly got some, and some people got something they didn't particularly care for in general. This time, you picked specifically what you thought someone would like to work on.
Right. Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
This cover was actually in a competitor for the finale of, I think, 3 or 2?
3, I think. Yeah.
3.
It was 3.
It's a great cover.
Yep. So the next universe we have is the horror universe. Which these are great. These covers, they range from the 50s to 2022. So it's a huge that's like what? Geez, that's 70-year
Yeah.
span.
And we usually comment on the fact that the old school books don't do very well because we have our audience pool is a lot younger and they like the more modern stuff. But the old stuff does hold up. I think we've had two old school winners, and an old school book at least has made it to the finale every time too. So old school book definitely shouldn't be slept on. It still makes it,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some competitors here, some old school
Awesome.
competitors. The next up, we've got the Spider-Man universe.
Oh,
Love that Alex Ross book.
that's great.
That's actually not Alex Ross.
that? Oh, who is that one?
I can tell you in a minute, I think.
I'm just smiling right now. You know why? I think
Why?
this is the first time someone besides me has stated the artist of a cover and was wrong. So
I was wrong artist. Yeah.
You figured out yet, Pat? I was trying to fill there.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have it at the tip of my fingers here. Let me see.
All right, what's the next one, Mike? While he's looking that up.
All right. Next up, we have the X-Men universe.
Nice.
And that is that's a previous winner. That's definitely Art Adams. We all know that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Patrick's looking. We have the Vertigo Plus or Vertigo and Beyond universe.
Interesting.
Yep.
It's a great Sandman cover, though.
Yeah, was not submitted.
Who's the artist on that?
That's Mike Mignola.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to guess, but I didn't know, so I didn't want to misstate.
Yeah, I figured I'd put him in there because I didn't think anybody else would choose him for anything. So,
Well, I think we said in the last round, Mignola needs to kind of sleep for a minute until our audience grows, because he's not getting the due credit he deserves, right, Pat?
yeah, and just so happened he worked perfect to fit in the T. So
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to I think a perfect universe for Patrick would have been the Hellboy universe, but it's just so limited.
That's so limited. It'd be 6 Mignola cover. No, I'm just
yeah.
Well, Patrick, correct me if I'm wrong here. It would be 6 Mignola covers, or you might have a combination of Mignola influenced artists in there, right?
yeah, there's actually like he's worked with so many different people in that universe now that there's a lot of popular choices to choose from now.
Oh, is there? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So all right, we're gonna reverse and start over next week.
No, we can't handle another start over.
Yeah.
So the Amazing Spider-Man cover number 900 is Felipe Massafera.
Wow.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, of course.
I've never
heard of him.
It's amazing.
We want to give everybody their moment in the sun here. Vault of Horror cover number 15 was by Johnny Craig, and the Weird War Tales cover was by Luis Dominguez.
Awesome. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's see what we got for round 1.1.
1.1.
Oh, the one thing you didn't mention for the listeners too, I think, Pat, with your logo, which I think is an awesome touch, is the subtext right under Cover Combat. It says on Infinite Earths, and then in parentheses afterwards it says or at least 6, which is awesome. Right. That's hilarious. You're a genius. I said it a million times. I'm going to say it a million times more. Maybe today.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Mike. Sorry, Mike.
All right. I've got a lot of papers in my hand here because I wanted to mention the artists on some of these, and a few of them I don't remember. Some of them are obvious. Some of those older 1950s books. It's hard to remember. Yep.
Gotcha.
So the first matchup we have is Sandman Nightmare Country #1 from Jenny Frison versus X-Men 101 by Dave Cockrum.
Awesome. That's a tough first round for sure. First matchup for sure. That is really good. And what I wanted to start doing, I was thinking about it because, I miss you guys and the show a lot when we skip a week. So I listen to a lot of our old podcasts, and I do listen. It's while I'm working and driving around. I just listen to them. And I was noting that, especially with me, and, I always, of course, think that most people are like me instead of geniuses like y'all, that you might not be able to envision a cover right away in your head just based on the title and number. So I was thinking maybe we need to add a little descriptor of each cover, because I think if you did that for me, and especially for me, I was having a hard time remembering some of them. And obviously I was on the show, so I actually saw them. So if we had a little descriptor to kind of, put it in your head, most comic fans, I think at that point would probably be able to envision it. Maybe not more modern stuff, but especially classic stuff. So the Sandman cover is a great, like you said, Jenny Frison version of Death holding a skull, and she's gorgeous. This is a great cover. And then the X-Men cover is the classic with Phoenix rising, when Marvel Girl first turns into Phoenix and comes out of the water, and there is Cyclops and Storm kind of drowning in the wake of the waves that she's creating as she pops out of the water. So that's the cover for that one. So they're both awesome. That's a tough choice. What do you say, Pat?
Yeah, I like both of these covers. There's a classic and a modern classic, I guess you would say.
Yeah. All right.
Yep. Yeah, I have the Sandman book myself, and I need that X-Men. I'm still trying to complete that 94 up run, and I need that X-Men, so I should probably sell the Sandman and get that X-Men.
Yeah.
They're probably comparable in price.
Very nice.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have Marvel Team Up presents Spider-Man and Captain Britain.
Wow. Okay.
And that is was that John Byrne versus it's a tough matchup. The House of Secrets 92 by Bernie Wrightson.
Oh man.
That Wrightson cover is legendary.
Yeah, that's an interesting Spider-Man choice.
The Spider-Man choices were interesting. I think someone was thinking outside the box on the Spider-Man this time.
Yeah, they were. But this actually isn't a bad matchup for it, obviously. But I think that one's going to have a hard time reaching the finals.
Redhead versus redhead.
There you go, yeah. All right.
All right. And then there's trivia on this one. I think we're all aware of that. The House of Secrets, it was Louise Simonson. Louise Jones at the time was the model that Bernie used. He modeled that character, that cover, using Louise as the girl.
Oh yeah, and I almost forgot already that. Yeah, it's so that Marvel Team Up Spider-Man and Captain Britain's got a murder world background with that's more of a classic. That's Captain Britain that Spider-Man's holding up on there too, isn't it?
Yes.
That's not the one that I would envision if someone said envision Captain Britain right now, right? That's kind of his original look, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Spider-Man is kind of helping Captain Britain get out of the way of a spiked ball flying through the air from Murder World. And then, yeah, Mike already mentioned the House of Secrets. That is the first appearance of Swamp Thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Swamp Thing's in the background behind the woman that Mike was describing that Louise Simonson was the model for. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right. And our next matchup, we have GI Combat 110 from Joe Kubert versus Vader Down #1 from Mark Brooks.
Oh, those are awesome.
Man, that is a crazy matchup because they're both amazing.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a thematic choice on this one more than the art, because they're both, I think, yeah, they're pretty great. But the GI Combat has plane crashing in the background, 2 soldiers kind of reacting to it, kind of shooting backwards. Are they the ones that dropped that plane, you think?
I think maybe they're on top of the tank, so maybe the
Tank
I
shot.
don't, I don't know if tanks can shoot up like that.
I don't know either, actually. Then the Vader Down's a classic, more of a modern classic of Vader kind of walking with his cape billowing. Is this the first appearance of Afra? No, that's Darth Vader number 1, right?
Yeah, it's the regular series number 3.
Oh, number 3. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's a great cover. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to mark all these artists down while you describe it.
Okay. This is a perfect example too. You see how Vader's head doesn't look that big there, Pat? You see what I'm talking about yet?
Okay, yeah.
Karen sees it too, apparently. All right, what's up next, Mike?
All right, next up we have Weird War Tales number 6 from Joe Kubert versus X-Men Legends number 1 from Art Adams. Those are both really busy covers, but just great.
Yeah, they are. Did you talk about this Weird War recently? I feel like I've seen that cover recently.
I actually own that book. I probably shared it with you guys on the Xcellar page when I picked it up. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great picture of a young soldier with looks like he's half robotic in a trench, with another dude in the background. And then this X-Men Legends is actually an homage cover to Uncanny X-Men. What's the number of that one? I can't remember right now. The Days of Future Past.
It's the the classic wanted poster with Wolverine,
yeah,
and Kitty in front of it. Yeah,
is that 141 or 142?
That's what I was gonna say. 141. Yeah,
141. Yeah,
and it's cool because it actually has Wolverine dressed as my favorite Wolverine, which is in the brown and tan, beige, whatever costume. Versus, I think in the original, it's just he's Logan in a brown jacket with a kind of the fur collared brown jacket he was wearing. I think that's and I think Kitty was actually too not in costume, so that's interesting cover. Yep. Definitely looks awesome, that's for sure. Awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Good matchup.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, oh boy, we have Chamber of Chills number 19 by Lee Elias versus Fables number 8 by James Jean. But
hold on, that says Fables on it.
Right. Fables number 8.
Oh, I thought you said versus. I'm hearing things. Sorry.
Oh, I did. I said Chamber of Chills 19 versus Fables number 8.
Oh, I missed the Fables part. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, that Chamber of Chills has a pretty lady behind, halfway behind glass that a skeleton hand is holding up. With what you can see seeing her through the glass, she looks skeletal. So it's kind of, it's creepy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then the Fables is a young lady strangling a Bengal tiger.
Is she strangling it or just like holding it like you would your dog?
Well, its tongue out and its expression makes me think it's a strangle, but I could be wrong. It could be just an affectionate hug for all I know. Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think, Pat? Is it a strangle?
I never looked at it as a strangle, but who knows?
You know this book?
Yeah.
Dadgum. See, I don't know this, but I don't know it. I'm not going to know half of this cover combat.
Yeah, the Fables run. I bought number 1. I bought the Malieve variant cover, and I wish I had this whole run because it's just gorgeous.
Stunning stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Who'd you say that artist was again? Anyway, I'm sorry.
James Jean.
Okay.
Double J. JJ.
All right.
And then the Chamber of Chills. I think the Misfits used that artwork, kind of inspired on some stuff. It's just a classic cover as well.
Gotcha.
Out of our price range, let's put it that way.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, I think like 2.0s are probably $10,000.
Wow.
Stuff like that. It's all pre-code horror right there.
Gotcha.
All right, next up, we have Marvel Team Up Spider-Man and Red Sonja by John Byrne versus Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Obi-Wan #1 by Ken Lashley.
Nice. Another, I guess, outside the box Spider-Man pick.
Yep. Yeah.
That's who is that kind of popping out in the silhouette in the front there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know, Pat?
Is it? I think I do, but I don't. It's.
Yeah.
I think it's a Red Sonja.
Wizard
Conan,
or whatever.
Wizard, yeah.
So anyway, on the cover, yeah, Red Sonja is on the left side and Spider-Man is on the right side. They seem to be fighting minions of whatever character is kind of silhouetted in the middle. That's kind of, it seems like we have that view of them. It's in front of them. And they're kind of fighting minions and preparing for him, I guess. And then the Obi-Wan is awesome. Not that the Spider-Man isn't awesome. It's just different awesome. But yeah, the Obi-Wan is just an awesome picture of Obi-Wan, of course, kind of standing in the foothills of Tatooine with a vision of Darth Vader in the background with a great Tatooine sun behind Darth Vader kind of fade or, glowing through. So it's pretty awesome. It's epic too. So
yeah, that's Things from Another World exclusive.
Okay.
Obi-Wan variant.
I don't have it. I want it though.
I'll sell you mine.
No. Do you have it for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I want it.
Yep.
Maybe
we can work out a trade.
Yeah.
Hey, you have X-Men 101?
I do actually, but
it's the price difference is way up.
Yeah.
It's an unfair trade. I think I paid $15 for this Obi-Wan, so you'll probably owe me something else.
okay.
All right, next up we have, oh boy, one of my all-time favorites, X-Men 268 from Jim Lee versus Marvel Team Up 82 with Black Widow by Rich Buckler.
Are you sure you didn't assign somebody the Marvel Team Up universe versus the Spider-Man universe? Mike, did you mess that up?
I did not mess that up. It was described as the Spider-Man universe and any books with Spider-Man.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, this is a classic X-Men cover with Captain America in the background and Wolverine just in front of Captain America, and then Black Widow just to the right and kind of behind Wolverine. It's a great cover.
It's one of my all-time favorite X-Men covers.
Yeah, me too. And the Marvel Team Up Spider-Man and the Black Widow. It's got Black Widow. Oh, didn't even think of that too. This is the Black Widow matchup. Yep. Excuse me. But Black Widow is seemingly dead / fainted on the ground in front of Spider-Man on the wall with his spidey sense tingling with a shadow or a figure that's kind of in the shadows coming out of the door behind him and saying, "You're next, Spider-Man." It's a cool cover, though.
It is. Yep, I like it.
These are pretty close to probably the same time frame, too, right?
No.
Are you sure?
Like 10-year difference there.
Hold on. You know what? It's awesome because I actually have this information.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
Okay, the Marvel Team Up was 1979, and that Uncanny X-Men is 1990. So, I mean,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man, you almost nailed it, Pat. You're a genius. But yeah, 10 years. I definitely wouldn't have guessed that. Okay. I thought that was an 80s Marvel Team Up. And I thought that was an 80s X-Men too, actually. All right.
Where are we? Next matchup. We have American Vampire #1 from Jay Lee versus Our Fighting Forces 120 from Joe Kubert.
Oh, man. I've never seen either one of those. Those are both awesome. What? Sorry, Mike.
That American Vampire is gross.
It is.
Turkey. Is that a turkey head?
Well, I'd assume it's a vulture because every time you see, we've seen this before so on the American Vampire cover, there is someone maybe assuming it's a vampire being hung by a rope, and we can't see what he's being hung from, but it's just there's a rope hanging from something, he's hanging from it, and in classic, like I said, I think we've seen this many times before where someone that has no use of their hands or arms is being attacked by a vulture because they're dying or dead or whatever, or not dead, but dying. Well, vampires dead. I don't know. Anyway, it looks like he bit the head off of a vulture that was possibly going to eat him, and he's literally got the vulture's stump of a head in his mouth. It's pretty gross. It's pretty gross. Cool though. And then the Hellcat.
This is American Vampire. So it's second cycle, which I think it's the volume 2 or something like that.
Oh, this is a Vertigo universe. I was assuming this was horror, but this is a Vertigo universe. Okay, that's cool, right?
This actually falls into both. I'm not. Let me see.
Yeah, I know.
This.
Yeah, I guess Vertigo.
Oh yeah, Vertigo.
Okay.
There's a lot of horror inside the Vertigo
right
universe, I would think.
Yeah. Oh, and there were no dupes on that horror and Vertigo.
Interesting.
Even I would think there'd be some war stories in Vertigo also.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, with the Hellcats cover, interesting enough, in the next war universe, we have something similar to the last war universe. Got a couple GIs running from a plane, but this one isn't crashing. This one is trying to shoot them down, and they aren't shooting back. They're just running for their lives. And you got one soldier that's taking up half the cover coming at us with another one behind him that's about the bottom 20% of the cover. It's much smaller in perspective with a fighter jet, old school plane trying to shoot at him. It's pretty cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I like the Hellcats logo too on that one.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's got a tiger or something on top of it too. Looks like a mix between a panther and okay. Is that what a Hellcat looks like? I don't know.
I guess
it definitely looks like a mix of multiple cats, so that's probably accurate.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have Mandalorian number 2 from Care Andrews versus Nice House on the Lake. Whoops. I forgot to write down that artist. Wasn't familiar with him. Don't know where it is.
That Nice House on the Lake has to be a photo cover, isn't it? That's not an artist, is it?
I think it is.
Does that look like a photo? That's awesome.
Yep. That is. I'll get to it.
No, I was going to ask Pat. Don't you think it looks just like a photo, even if it's an artist?
Yeah, it's definitely got photorealistic qualities.
Yeah. John Gallagher.
Huh. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought of that. I mean, I don't know. It looks. I thought it was painted. Like a digital painting.
That'd be interesting to look into. This may be our first photo cover submission and cover. It's because that's not illegal or anything. We never said anything about that before.
No.
We've never had a photo cover before. So this, if in fact it is a photo, would be the first time. And if in fact it isn't a photo, I need to look at more of Gallagher's stuff because I never heard of him.
Yeah.
Do you guys know him?
No,
I really don't know.
All right, and that Mandalorian cover's awesome. That just has classic view of Mando with Grogu underneath him, kind of in his old school armor before he had anything but a Beskar helmet. That's what his current uniform is in that, and not sure what that battling is, but there's underneath him in the bottom, again, 15-20% of the cover is a battle going on between two characters heading towards one character with, you know what that probably is? that one scene whenever he was traveling through, especially since this is issue 2 of The Mandalorian, where they were just walking through the desert and they got kind of ambushed, and then that was when he first discovered that there was multiple. Well, no, IG-11 was his first discovery. There was multiple bounty hunters after Grogu, but you remember that scene, Pat? You know what I'm talking about?
It's not ringing a bell top of my head, Kevin, but yeah. But you're right.
Anyway, it's awesome.
It follows the episode
The TV
order
series.
of the TV series. Yeah.
And then the nice house on the lake is just a gorgeous woman doing the backstroke in a lake, assumingly, and she's just in a red bathing suit with white sunglasses on. She's got nothing else on, but there's a bunch of creepy hands that we can barely see just underneath the water, getting ready to grab her.
Yeah, and it looks like the bottom of the lake is made of skulls.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Very cool.
Yep. Good matchups. Next up, we have Marvel Team Up 116, Valkyrie, John Romita Jr. versus Princess Leia number 5, Terry Dodson.
All right, my first prediction for who has Spider-Man is Patrick, because he loves Marvel Team Up.
Hey, I'm more of a Marvel 2-in-1 guy.
Yeah, Johnny's the Marvel Team Up guy. I think he not just, but I think a couple years ago he finally completed the run.
Completed the whole run. Yeah, he mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. Another Marvel Team Up Spider-Man entry. And in this one, Spider-Man's kind of jumping into the air, holding a gold sword. And our perspective is the sword is kind of reaching, it's the closest point to us, with then going back towards Spider-Man. And then it's got Thor and Valkyrie on the rooftop that's underneath Spider-Man behind him to the right. So it's pretty cool. And then this Princess Leia cover, I've always had a fondness in my heart for this Princess Leia cover. I love this. This was this series, Princess Leia, was one of the first series that Ayla ever asked me to buy for her. She wasn't a huge, I mean, she liked Princess Leia well enough, but she wasn't a humongous Princess Leia fan. But this is, one of those moments when I first took her to the comic store and she saw it. She's like, oh, that's all, I want that. This is that book. So this is a great Princess Leia cover with, of course, Princess Leia front and center in the cover, R2-D2 just behind her on the left with it looks like a, which I don't know who that is because I didn't read this book, a rebel pilot, female blonde-haired rebel pilot just behind R2-D2. It looks like they're coming through some doorway into a room that's lit up by a bunch of bulbous lights. So it's a great cover. It's a great cover. Man, that description was spot on. Even if no one's ever seen this, they know what that book looks like.
They can draw it now.
Yeah.
Right,
and you know what's cool about this too is Princess Leia is in the outfit that most people would associate with Padme. Right, Pat? You're muted, Pat.
Or he's frozen.
He's out.
Sorry. Just doing behind the scenes research as we go.
Oh, okay.
It kind of does look like what we expect Padme to be in.
Yeah, Padme's white tight jumpsuit from Attack of the Clones. That's what Princess Leia is wearing. So now you can draw it.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, what's up next?
All right. We have 2 matchups remaining. Here we are with 100 Bullets number 16 from Dave Johnson versus Stillwater number 1 by Roman Perez. Oh man, 100 Bullets. I wish that I had picked that series. I wasn't collecting when that was coming out. It's definitely one I would have picked up. Go ahead, Kevin.
Me and Mike were talking about before the show that we just wish sometimes we could experience our show from the outside and not be a part of all the behind the scenes and everything. And man, this is why, I've said this 100 times. I'm going to say it again, man. I will be watching this show every week if I wasn't on it for sure, man. Cause this is a great couple books that I've never heard of, couple covers I've never seen, and I'm no rookie, but I'm not you guys. But this is good stuff. So yeah, 100 Bullets has 2 gentlemen in a car and we're looking at the driver first from the side, and the passenger is cocking a 9mm. It looks like, and I don't know. Is that a paint job on? Is that a paint job on the car? Is anybody familiar enough? That's
No, I take that as a reflection.
That's the way
okay.
I took it as well.
Okay, so there's a reflection on the car of some suited scoundrel with a couple other ones behind him, with a couple of them being kind of skeleton looking. I guess it's creepy, right?
Yeah, it's definitely creepy.
And then the still water is an X-ray of a lady holding a baby. And interesting enough, in the X-ray, you can only see the bones of the lady, but the baby, you can't see its bones. You just see a transparent baby. And it looks like there's a root system behind them coming out of her heart, or the baby's heart, which her heart, and with the city on top of that root system. So interesting, and very interesting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Stillwater was on my pull list before number 1 came out, and number 1 was not put into my box. And then I never got around to getting it. And when number 2 was in my box, I canceled it because I said I wasn't going to track down number 1. So I never picked it up, but that's another series that I wanted to get. So yeah, that's a good matchup right there.
Yeah, it is. I sure hope that one of these outside the norm kind of unknown covers, literally, I'd be happy if 3 of them made it to the finals, and picking randoms I never saw before. I love it. Love this kind of thing. So, okay.
Yeah, I like this a lot because it's introducing people to covers that they've never seen, artists they've never seen, maybe books they've never seen. So this one was exciting.
Yeah, kind of like you've been doing with me for our whole life with music.
Right. All right, and the final matchup for this week, we have Showcase Presents 57 from Joe Kubert versus Uncanny X-Men 136, John Byrne. There's another plane. And another Joe Kubert. I guess it's hard to do war books without Joe Kubert.
These are so awesome. What do you think, Pat? You like both of these as well?
Yeah, but that X-Men cover, we all know that X-Men cover. It's sort of like ingrained into our brains. It's an important cover,
yeah. So many times. Yeah.
Was that before or after Crisis? Did Crisis
homage this? Yeah. So this is in Enemy Ace. There is a kind of a transparent picture of, I'm assuming, a pilot, an ace pilot, in the background of the book, with a dogfight happening between 2 classic, looks like American and German, when they had the 4 wings, kind of, I don't know, I can't remember the name of those, fighting in front of it. So that's pretty awesome. And then, as Pat was saying, the classic X-Men with Cyclops holding dead Phoenix, with Colossus, Wolverine, Professor X, Storm, and Nightcrawler in the background, shocked.
Shocking.
And Cyclops is extremely distraught. So,
for once, I have both of these.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, those are great. So that's the final matchup right there. There's our first 12.
This is just as interesting as I envisioned it would be. And I think that's what Patrick was saying about this, is this was the more interesting of the options we had with the way we were going to do it. And I think he nailed it. This is good stuff.
Yeah, I was not looking forward to this category. From the time, we were all sitting around at Eaton Park a couple of years ago discussing possibilities, and this one came up. I think Kevin came up with this one, and I wrote it down because we were writing everything down, and I was like, man, I just don't think that's going to work out. I have to say it's worked out obviously way better than I thought it would. I love it.
Sweet.
So kudos to you. It's awesome.
Thanks. I was worried for a minute there too, actually. Because at first thought when it was the winner, I was like, oh
yeah.
This might not be so great, but I'm happy now. So okay. Great work on obviously Pat's part with the logo, and then now of course Mike with all the prep with those covers there too. That's good job. Awesome.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, so I'm hoping to have these up on the Facebook page, the Xcellar Facebook page. I've got almost everything ready to go, so hopefully by the end of the show or right after the show, these will be up, ready for people to vote.
Awesome. So yeah, get your votes in. Yeah, we can keep growing that voter pool every round. I will definitely have an offer, once we show what will be round 1B covers.
1B.
Once we show the 1B covers, when all the covers are revealed, I will have something to offer for people that want to claim who they think will be the victor of Cover Combat 5. And the more voters we have, the bigger I'll make that offer. So get your votes in. Tell your family to vote, even if they don't like comics. Tell all your friends at work you'll cover their days off if they vote. And, do what you can to help us out to get more voters. We appreciate it.
Yeah, these are definitely it's like my want list has grown after seeing some of these covers.
Exactly.
Like, I gotta own that. Oh man, I want that.
Every Cover Combat for sure. That's definitely true.
Yeah.
All right, so are we ready for my short but sweet? What Kevin watched. I'm going to do my best. There's a couple big things that happened, so I want to take a minute. And Mike has been so gracious to sacrifice his time later in the show to let me have it be a little bit longer than we originally predicted, especially with previews coming. So let's get into this. All right. So, hold on one sec here. Okay, here we go. First thing I watched, and this is something that I didn't really even plan on watching until Mike, you pointed out that you'd purchased this on Vudu. It was on special. This is 65. With Adam Driver, and after watching it, I know why it was on special.
Oh, what?
No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm half kidding. Okay, this wasn't bad. This wasn't horrible, but man, the word I used my first description to you, Mike, was disappointing. I thought this was going to be great, and man, this is definitely a middle of the road. Nothing special movie for me. It was definitely fun to watch. You actually said, I think, that you had a blast watching it. You watched it with Mark too, which we also commented on how when you can watch with your especially younger kids and you kind of feel the excitement they're feeling, that helps you enjoy it a little bit more. I didn't have that benefit. But it was still fun. It's definitely a decent adventure movie. Kind of a mindless adventure movie. Nothing really to think about in this. Basically, all that this is about, which is the first thing that I want to note in this, the number 65 references this movie takes place 65 million years before the beginning of, and this is what the movie says, the beginning of mankind. And the first thought to me was, well, what is Adam Driver then? But he is technically an alien. He is from another planet, and this is more specifically this takes place 65 million years before man on Earth.
And it tells you that right at the beginning. So this isn't a crazy spoiler that, like you find out, spoiler alert for Planet of the Apes, when they're on the beach and there's the Statue of Liberty. You know?
Right. Yeah, they're on Earth the whole time. But yeah, they let you know
tell
right
this
away.
right away.
Yeah, this movie takes place on Earth, right? And of course, there's dinosaurs around. And Adam Driver crash lands, and there's one survivor on his ship besides for him. It's a little girl. And this is the other kind of complaint or critique I got about this is the other girl's from a completely different planet, apparently, than Adam Driver's from. And Adam Driver speaks English, and this little girl speaks a language that I can't even pronounce because it's a totally made-up fiction language. So then they can't communicate with each other, and they have to survive in this prehistoric Earth. Incidentally, they're trying to get out of there, but there is a time limit on this because this, of course, coincidentally is happening exactly when the asteroid that comes that hits the Earth and wipes out all the dinosaurs coming. And Adam Driver, of course, has the technology because every other planet in the universe is ahead of the Earth in technology. So he can look up in the sky with binocular-sized binoculars and see an asteroid coming at the Earth. And also, it's a computer, so it can predict when it's going to be here. So he knows how long he has to escape. So, of course, him and this little girl who can't communicate with each other, which was another kind of little snafu in this movie for me. It's like half the time she doesn't know what one word means. The other half the time he says a full sentence and she knew exactly what he was getting at. So it's just little things like that takes this down, a peg for me. But like I said, overall, it's not bad. I give it a solid 6.5 bags of popcorn. Definitely check it out if you get a chance. This is actually on Netflix. Mike had bought it on Vudu, which brought it to my attention that it was released, but it was actually on Netflix is where I watched it. So I didn't even have to log into Mike's account to do it.
That was the most disappointing part of the movie for me, was finding out after the fact that you watched it free on Netflix.
Right.
Like a week after I spent $7 on it.
Right. Patrick, did you get to see this yet?
No, I haven't seen this one yet.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's just the trailer looked so awesome, and it's Adam Driver, and the special effects are great. The production's great. It's a big budget movie. It's just what you get from it once it's all over just wasn't a good payoff. So just a little subpar.
Yeah. I think if you watch it with Valor, like I watched it with Mark, you just get into it as much as they are, because obviously we've got more experience in movies.
Yeah.
And, there were jump scares and just craziness, and we were having a blast with it.
Yeah. All right, and then I got around to watching. I think since the last time I did what Kevin watched, I had only watched up to episode 8. It might have been 9, but I definitely hadn't watched 10 yet. So I watched, I think 9 and 10 then, which 10 was the finale of Silo on Apple TV. Does everybody remember what my reviews for up to this point were like?
Yeah, it was like, okay, it was good, not so good, not so good, not so good, not so good, good.
Guess how I'm gonna end this though, Pat.
Not so good.
Wrong. Pat, this was awesome. I am so mad now.
They got to give you that last little bit to get you back for next season.
That's what it exactly.
You're not going anywhere.
I am not going anywhere. This episode 10 was great. If I hadn't reviewed 9, I can't remember. If I hadn't reviewed 9 yet, that was still just an okay episode. Like Mike was saying, it was pretty good. Definitely the writing and the dialogue was better than I think. My biggest complaints are 3 through 7, but 8 and 9 were okay. Not bad. I was definitely enjoying myself. It seemed to be moving the story forward a little bit better than the previous episodes. But 10, man, this finale, it not only was awesome just in the sense of a great ending, and like Pat said, teasing, giving you a good, feeling about the whole season to get you to be ready for season 2. But then, of course, as you can imagine, a lot of kind of explaining what the things you didn't understand from the previous episodes, which obviously I was complaining about in the middle section of the season, that we were just kept getting question. It didn't seem to be giving us any answers. This one gives us the most answers. and with a great ending of something we weren't even expecting. And then, of course, also new mysteries that make us want to watch season 2 to find out those. So, yeah, this episode had all I wanted from every other episode, and that's what makes me mad about it. Obviously, it's the finale, which I would expect to be the best if they know what's good for anything. But man, I just feel like the whole show could have been like this without being a big finale, but similar to this. And I think you were saying that, Mike, with the book, that it's just so that's how you kind of felt through reading the entire book, right?
What's that,
Mike? That the whole time you're reading the book, there wasn't these lulls in it where you were struggling to get through it. It was good from beginning to end, right?
Yeah. They didn't take
That's
those
my wife's
meandering paths down the. I think they were trying to build up the murder mystery aspect of it a little bit more
so than the interesting part
Yeah.
that everyone cared about the silo stuff.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I can be completely honest about things, and I'm going to end season 1 with giving it a recommend. I'm not sure exactly how it would work if you just watched episode 1 and 2 and then skipped to 8, but just know when you're watching 3 through 7 that Kevin didn't say those were good. But anyway, check it out. I'm excited to see what season 2 has in store for us. And I guess, Mike, you told me too, for anybody who has read the books, that this ended pretty much where the first book ended, right, Mike?
Not the first book, not Wool. No.
Oh, I thought you said that. Maybe it was my wife that said that.
Mm-mm.
Where in the book series did this end then?
I think maybe midway, almost halfway, maybe.
Of the second book?
Of the first
book.
book.
It didn't even go through the entire first book. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. Well,
and what's funny, we discussed a lot of stuff that your wife was saying, and I had completely forgotten about. You know, he's like, and this is all we're talking about, the second book in the series, which is Shift. And then I was like, no, I don't remember that. So I went and I looked up a review of the second book. It's like, son of a gun, I completely forgot that. So,
yeah.
So don't listen to anything I say.
All right. And then lastly, I finished watching. I think the last show we talked about, I'd watched episode 1 and the first 10 minutes of episode 2, but I watched all through the first 4 episodes, which is all that's currently out for Secret Invasion on Disney Plus. Patrick, are you caught up?
Yes.
Mike, are you caught up? Is that why you checked out? Because you don't want to spoil it. Mike checked out, so we'll just assume he hasn't seen it, and he doesn't want it spoiled. Patrick, what do you have I think the last time we talked about this, you were liking it, and you were actually a little bit impressed with the writing. I can't remember whether you just said episode 2 or episode 2 and 3 that the writing was really well done for this, right?
Yeah, I thought episode 2 had some really strong writing and acting scenes in it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Where do you so just to kind of recap where we are, this is following, for anybody, especially if you don't know anything about the comic books or anything, the Secret Invasion is Skrulls, which we met in Captain Marvel, that obviously Nick Fury was a big part of, Captain Marvel, the movie, and the Skrulls that are, kind of become part of the MCU family, especially with Nick Fury at the end of Captain Marvel, are in this Secret Invasion, and they basically revealed to Nick Fury that there's millions of Skrull on the Earth now, and this kind of has all been happening secretly. And the big problem with that is that a lot of them aren't so happy with the Earth, especially Nick Fury, because they basically are refugees to the Earth, and they, and Nick Fury told them, which we got to see in episode 2, that he would find them a new planet to occupy. But then, of course, the events of Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, especially the blip that Nick Fury obviously blipped out in. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Endgame and Infinity War yet. But So he was gone for the blip was 2 years, right, Pat?
5.
5 years. Okay. So he was gone for 5 years there. And then, obviously he comes back, you're going to be, that's going to affect you in other ways aside from the event actually happening. So basically Nick Fury kind of abandoned all of his commitments he had made to the Skrull about finding them another planet for them to occupy. And lots of Skrull are not happy about it. Right, Pat? Is that a pretty good summary?
Yeah. They want their own promised world.
Yeah.
And Fury hasn't delivered on that promise.
So the extremists, I guess you'd call it, of the Skrull are taking it upon themselves to just say, then fine, we'll just take the Earth. You don't want to give us a different one. This is the one we're going to take. So, of course, the problem with that is they don't like the humans. Also, they don't want to share. They don't want to be a part of any kind of sharing. They just want this planet to be their own because, and I guess the big thing with that is they want to live in their own skin. And since they're Skrull, they're constantly impersonating other human beings, but they just want to walk around looking like goblins, right, Pat?
Yep.
So, so the first thing I have to say about this is, and this is a problem I have with these things sometimes. This isn't Spider-Man fighting Green Goblin or Lizard in New York City. And even if they talk about grandiose world / American / world plans, it's basically an encompassed problem that Spider-Man being the only one fighting it is kind of believable. And then, you could do that with Daredevil and, his, arch nemesis in his, world. And even with Daredevil, as you've been pointing out, reading in the comics lately, even when he goes to, East Asia and has some kind of a battle with the hand or whatever, I think you were talking about is happening in Daredevil. All that's kind of believable. The thing that I'm not having a problem with it specifically, but it definitely is on my mind all the time is when this is a world-ending human race extinction event happening. The fact that there's no superheroes involved, that's, you know what I'm saying, Pat? It's hard to kind of separate yourself from the fact that there's superheroes on the planet. A human race extinction event is happening. Nick Fury knows it. He's got all the numbers of all the superheroes, but none of them are involved. Right, Pat? Do you feel that way at all?
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. I think it was Rhodey who wrote that off. He's like, we can't involve them because then the Skrulls will, duplicate them and we'll have a whole other mess on our hands.
Right. Which, that's one of the reasons I can accept it, because I think I've said this a bunch of times in the past. As long as they give you a throwaway line to explain something, that helps me. Even if it's far-fetched or whatever, but thank God this is being done well, because if this had any major issues, I would totally be beating it up based on everything I just said. Mike, since you're back, have you watched any of the? Are you up to episode 4 by chance, or any more than you watched before?
No, just episode 1.
Gotcha. So, another complex thing about this show is that it's very confusing because obviously the Skrull look like people and they impersonate people. It's but I think they're doing okay with giving you the cues as to know who's who and who's real and who isn't in this, but it's kind of confusing and probably intentionally so too, to make it more interesting as to when you're actually dealing with who you think you're actually dealing with at the time. Right, Pat? That's interesting too, right?
Yeah.
You think they're doing a really good job with that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm following it.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
They're trying some trickery, of course, too.
Oh yeah. They definitely fooled me once. So yeah, I see what you're saying, especially, well, it's a little bit of a spoiler, so maybe I don't want to say it, but there's a couple scenes where, I think they're intentionally leading you to believe it's them or not them, and then later you find out it was actually them or not them, the opposite of whatever you thought it was. So, and then episode 4 ends with they're actually trying to. Do you think they're actually trying to take out the president, or they were trying to get the president out of the picture so one of them could then assume the role of the president? What was happening in that episode, Pat?
That's a good question. Good point, Kevin, because, especially, I could ask you guys coming from a more military background. It seemed like if they really wanted to take out the president, they could have taken out the president.
Right.
So maybe you're onto something there. I don't know.
And a little bit more stealthily
Right.
as well. Yeah. But that whole scene was pretty cool. That was definitely action packed, and it kind of ends with some new questions, of course. And do you know how many episodes are in this season?
Yeah, there's only 6, so they better.
Oh my gosh, there's only 6. Daggum.
They got 2 episodes for Nick Fury, and Nick Fury apparently alone to solve this whole mess.
No. There's Scroll Buddy, because he confessed and said he can't do anything without him. It's Nick and his Scroll Buddy, right?
Well, maybe.
Yeah, right. Maybe. Right. So anyway, yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm having fun with it, and it's done well. As you were saying, Pat, it's written well, and obviously it's Disney MCU. The production's great, So I'm enjoying it. I give up to this point, a solid 7.58. Bags of popcorn. We'll see how we go in just 2 episodes. Apparently, I didn't realize it was so. I was thinking it was going to be at least 8, but okay. So get at it, Mike. You've got two more shows to get this completed, so you can participate in the finale of season 1 conversation.
Yeah, I'm watching Joe Pickett right now.
You're not interested at all in this, for real? The episode 1 turned you off completely?
Yeah, I really wasn't into it at all.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Hey, I like you saying you're not interested in it at all and not watching the rest of the episodes, rather than committing that you're going to watch all the rest of the episodes and then not watch the rest of the episodes.
Right.
So. But yeah, there you go. I didn't do too bad, right?
Right.
That's all I watched a bunch of, that's actually, I wanted to do a joke. I didn't, I failed on a little bit of a joke. Where is that? That's not it. You love one. Here, I'm still gonna do it a little bit late, but I just wanted to say this real quick before I move on. That I watched Secret Invasion, not to be confused with Invasion on Apple TV, which I've already partially reviewed. But I will say this, and this is the biggest reason that you can be confused by it. Not only that they both have invasion in the title, but man, this show might be called Secret Invasion. Man, it is a snooze fest that does not give any answers. Everything's still a secret, and I'm almost done with it. I think I got 1 episode left in the season, and I've seen the alien race twice, and only partially, kind of like a Bigfoot photograph scene where you don't actually know if that's them, but sort of. You know how they do that with aliens, Man, this show, yeah. This actually has 2 seasons too. I cannot believe how bad I think this show is. Invasion on Apple TV, a bonus review. This is a 2, in my opinion. Unless you want to take a nap, this might be a good sleep agent for you. This is, I might
watch that. I might watch that.
Exactly.
I'm going to watch this, but not Secret Invasion.
Right. Yeah. But this is so slow. And I guess I'm going to backpedal a little bit. It's not horrible like trash. It's just so slow. I can't survive a freaking episode. There's nothing happens. And I'm not joking about it being a secret. And I'm not joking about how many times you've seen the alien. And I'm almost done with the first season. It's crazy. So I thought I'd make that association, because I definitely watched more than 3 things over the last 2 weeks, but I had to keep it short. Yeah. This being a previews show. So there we go. All right, moving right along. Now we are in store for and ready for the previews. Correct.
Correct.
Is everybody ready? Mike, you ready?
I am ready. Yeah.
Who wants to go first? Oh, Mike, volunteer. That's cool. Okay. All right, here we go.
First one's money. Is that it? That was short.
Yeah, it is
Something wrong.
it's our shortest intro, and it just dawned on me. I totally forgot to change the cover on the. It's still got last month's previews cover on that we're holding. So
Yeah, there's glitches. I didn't even see it.
Okay. All right, but you're up first, Mike. What you got?
Okay. First up, we have everything is slow. There we go. The return of Creepshow. So we've got Creepshow Volume 2 from Image Skybound, and this comes out September 13th. What I like about this first issue, what I'm excited about, is the Garth Ennis story with Becky Cloonan art, and then also the second story is by Phil Hester. So it's a great creative lineup there. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Very nice. Yeah, it's actually almost this was in I mentioned I had like 24 picks. This was one of those. I decided not to go with it because it was kind of a book that I probably won't even grab, so I kind of felt a little bit disingenuous, but yeah, if I was going to grab a horror book, it would definitely be this one.
Yeah. I was a bit disappointed in some of the stories in Volume 1. And I think that's why I'm so excited about this one, because I like these three creators. So looking forward to this one.
How many issues were in Volume 1?
I think it was 5.
Yeah. Pat, you going to grab this?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. So mine, starting off slow and easy here. Alligator Loki is getting his own book. This is Alligator Loki #1. I'm gonna be picking this out. I guess I just said I didn't put in Creepshow because I wasn't gonna grab it. I'm not technically gonna grab this one either, but I will buy it for my daughter. She loves Alligator Loki. She has a pop for Alligator Loki, and then I'm also gonna probably grab a second one of this for my amazing sister Karen, because there is a Scotty Young variant which you cannot see in the previews guide yet, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome. And I like this cover anyway, too. So Alligator Loki #1 is my first preview. Pat?
All right. We did mention this, I think, in the last show about the licenses shifting around on some of these properties, and ROM is back at Marvel. So I have ROM Omnibus Volume 1. 4 variant covers for this omnibus, which is going to run you $125. This is the classic cover to #1. If you didn't know, this is Frank Miller of all people. And they're also releasing, this is a little bonus preview for it. There's also a facsimile issue #1, same cover, that's coming out the same month. There's a Sal Buscema cover, which I think was like an ad hyping the series. And then there's 2 direct market covers. This is another Frank Miller cover.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we have direct market B cover, which is George Perez.
So, that's awesome too. Yeah.
Lots of choices there. As Marvel gets this license back. ROM really ingrained itself into the Marvel universe, and that's one of the things I hate about when they take these licensed characters, because they lose the rights, and then they can't print certain stories again without the rights, and with things so meshed together, it just makes a big mess out of things. So
yeah,
it's kind of neat to see these back in print. I don't have close to a complete ROM run, but every once in a while I would pick it up, or I'd find it in flea market lots or something like that, and I'd pick it up. And it's interesting how they, like I said, meshed it together with the Marvel universe. So if it's up your alley, go out and grab the omnibus, especially because a lot of times you can find a really good discounts, if you pre-order these omnis through various mail order companies. So
yeah.
So did you call this a Romubus?
You could.
Yeah.
They didn't, but that's the fail on their marketing department.
The Romnibus.
Yeah.
This was, again, And I'm waiting for us to have a crossover yet. And this is another one that I mentioned y'all, my 24, and this was one that didn't make my 10. Yeah, I'm definitely want to grab this, especially I 100% grab the facsimile. Obviously I've mentioned a lot lately. I'm just in love with facsimiles lately. I'm going to grab that. This is
Omnibus.
out of my price range, but I'd love to have it. And I'm like you, Pat. I grab all the singles anytime I see them in dollar bins and stuff. So
Yeah.
Mike.
Cool. All right. Number 2 for me, I have Bounty Hunters number 38 from Marvel. This comes out September 15th, and this is the 15th anniversary of the Clone Wars cover, and with Cad Bane on it by E.M. Gist. And I love this cover, and I think for fans of Cad Bane, this is definitely a pickup. So this is basically
Absolutely.
for the cover. I'm not reading the book.
Yeah. This is Cad Bane's in my top 5 favorite bounty hunters. This is a great cover. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So short and sweet on this one. It's for the cover.
All right. For me, again, easing in slow and easy. I want to pick up this official handbook of the Marvel Universe Masters Edition. This is a hardcover. Yeah, this is like $110, right? I think I love all of the official handbooks of the Marvel Universe. Back in the day, I don't know whether you guys are similar to me. Back in the day, I was telling myself, I'm going to read every single one of these and memorize all this information, especially when I was first collecting and I was just thirsting for any kind of knowledge because I didn't know anything, and picking these up. I think I have most of these already, but it would sure be nice to have them in this hardcover on my shelf. And this is volume 1, A through L. And there's multiple covers of this is why I picked this one because Cap's on it. And but yeah, I would definitely grab the official handbook of the Marvel Universe Masters editions, I guess, will be out.
Yeah, I think that's one that I would prefer to have in this form than the comic book form.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Well, if you guys, side note here, the Master Edition was an anomaly. It was, if you remember, it was the cardstock 3-hole punched Marvel Universe.
Yeah. When a notebook, yeah.
You had to buy the binders separately, and then you could put them in
right,
order.
Yep.
Yeah, so
okay.
This while I have all the originals of these, this was my least favorite version of the Marvel Universe official handbook. It was just kind of boring because it was I think it was Keith Pollard. Was it Keith Pollard? No, I can't remember. But they had one artist do the 3 shots of every character, front, back, side, and then their information on them, versus the first 2 versions of the official handbook where whoever they would get creators from all over the place and get key artwork for the entry, and then along with their biography and so forth. So yeah, this wasn't my favorite version of the official handbook, but I have it.
Thank you for the correction, Pat, because up until now, I totally assumed the ones that had the 3 holes that you put in the notebook were the same. It was just a different way to have them all together in kind of more of an archived system than the regular comic book. I thought they were identical, though. Did you think that too, Pat, Mike?
Yeah, their idea was because they when they printed it in comic book form, 2 months from now, that was already outdated. This way, potentially, they could always update this one with new entries, and you could put them in order,
Right.
But it didn't last that long.
Yeah. Mike, were you under that assumption too, or was it just me?
No, I was in the same camp that you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thanks for pointing that out, Pat. Appreciate that.
Yep.
All right, what you got?
Oh yeah. It's my turn. I was afraid Mike may have picked this one. This is the complete Klaus Deluxe hardcover collection.
I almost did.
I know Mike has a lot of these individual issues, and I've tried to pick up some in the back issue, dollar bins and things like that. And like we mentioned when I was talking about on my review last week of World's Finest, Dan Mora wasn't exactly, I knew of him, but I wasn't buying a lot of his books until World's Finest, and he's just a great artist. And I know, you often get the best work out of people when they're doing, these, creator owned books. So this definitely, I'm interested in possibly picking this one up. It's $60 retail, so pre-order it for your discount. Always on these hardcovers, you can usually get a good discount on them. And yeah, looks like a cool pickup to have them all collected in one volume like this.
I'm not lying. I'm going to say it again. This is in my 24, and to hear Mike, and obviously I was thinking about Mike with this too, Mike might put this one in here too. I'm telling you, we are in sync. It's like what's the word I'm looking for?
Right.
We're like psychically linked. The fact that you picked this and Mike didn't and I didn't, it was on my 24. It's great. So yeah, I definitely want to grab this too, for sure. Yeah, when it's cheaper.
It's, like Patrick was saying, Dan Mora's art, it's just so stunning in this series.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I'm up with Wolverine number 37 from Marvel, September 20th. It's the Hulk. Anytime Wolverine and the Hulk are in the same book, you got to pick it up.
Yep.
It's just everyone's favorite. Benjamin Percy is writing it. Juan Jose Reap. I don't know. He's the artist. There's a cover B that is listed as classified artist secret spoiler. So I ordered 10. I'm just kidding. I didn't.
Did you order one?
So I ordered one.
Okay.
So I'm
Wait,
excited
one of
to see
this
what that
and one of the secret, or so you ordered 2 of this book, just one of this and one of that?
Yeah, this is on my regular pool.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So I ordered 1 copy of the super secret classified mystery cover.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what's up with Hulk's hair in this book?
No, that's one thing I don't like about it. I don't like his hair in this one.
Yeah, it's kind of funky.
That's sort of the look he has, I think, for this new volume of the Hulk.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
I really like the look of the new book. I didn't notice his hair.
Nick Klein.
Yeah,
Nick Klein's book. Yeah.
Maybe he's got it in a bun in the back, Mike. You just can't see it.
Oh, that would be worse. It might just be the way it's drawn here.
All right.
I do Lionel Francis use work, but all right, you're up.
So my next one, getting into the weeds a little bit now, is I want to grab this 2070, Your Voices, Your Adventure, Your Story. This is a choose your own adventure graphic novel, which I was totally into the choose your own adventures back in the day. So this being kind of in a graphic novel form of that seemed interesting to me. It's sci-fi, of course. Don't really know a whole lot more than that. But that's, as soon as I, read all those details, I was like, yeah, I don't like this cover too much. It's got a bit too much purple for me, but, it definitely seems interesting. So, I actually will physically order this one to give it a shot, because I think I enjoyed the Choose Your Own Adventures from the back in the day, which I think they kind of brought those back anyway. I think they're kind of Choose Your Own Adventure novels now, like newer ones, but I haven't been into it since back in the day. But this being a graphic novel format of that, it's pretty cool. So yeah, 2070.
Yep. Was not on my radar.
Pat?
It's me again. I'm a big fan of this book, and it's getting a re-release. That's Tellus Saga hardcover. It's been collected before. I can't remember. I'm sure it was. I think there was a Kickstarter. Maybe the first go around, then there was a general release, and it was divided into 2 volumes. I think this is probably just the main story. First 10 or the only 10 issues. $35 hardcover. This is Todd DeZago and Mike Wieringo, their creator-owned book, from Image and then Gorilla, then back to Image. They plan to do a lot more in this world until Mike Wieringo his untimely death, and it's just a really good book. I wish they could have done more. If you're into that sort of fantasy science fiction book and you're a fan of Mike's artwork, you probably already have this, but it's worth checking out if you've never heard of it or never tried it before.
Definitely. I literally just sent you guys a screenshot of my 24 just because I don't want you thinking I'm lying every time, just to be popular. I just literally text you both an image of my 24. And this was in my 24 too, but it didn't make the 10 cut. I actually have 1 issue of Telos. And I haven't ever read it because I only had 1 issue. And it's like issue number 5 or something. But I always love the way it looks, and it's a piratey kind of thing, which is my thing too. So I was like, man, I got to get all those. And just recently, because I've been trying to trim the fat so much, I decided, you know what? It's only 1. I've only got 1. I just put it in the Xcellar, inventory. But as soon as I saw this, I'm like, oh man, I got to get this. Now it's all of them. But it didn't make the cut. So again, no crossover, but this was on my original 24. So that's awesome.
Yep.
How about you, Mike? Were you going to pick that up? Was that on your original that didn't make the cuts?
No, it was not on my list. All right, next up, you might have to make your screens bigger because this took me a bit to put this graphic together.
Okay.
I used my CLZ app, put all these in there, and then I realized, and I had to tag these books to get them separate from the main run because these are all a variant connecting cover set, and they keep sneaking them in there. And Patrick caught the last one, but we've got The Walking Dead Deluxe number 70 comes out September 13th. It's another of the Art Adams connecting cover set. This is the run that's out right now. They didn't reveal issue 70's connecting cover yet. But what's frustrating about these is they're so sporadic. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10, 19, 27, 53, 54, 55, 59, and now 70. So you've really got to keep an eye on each issue to see when the next Art Adams connecting issue is coming out.
That's crazy.
Yep. So we're putting this one together. Issue number 70, September 13th.
Sorry, it took me a minute to get us back to the down to the bottom there.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I got it. Yeah. But that's cool though. That definitely looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have our first duplication. This was like a last minute. I was like, I
Oh,
only have 5. Here's number 6. So this was on my list too. But it was so
Nice.
minor, especially because we didn't have a cover to show, and
Yeah.
it was just a cover. And so I'm glad you talked about it.
Yep. Yeah, I wanted to show something there.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Negan. He hasn't shown up yet, so
right. And it was kind of fun doing this because I've just had them stacked up, and I've never, put them all out together to see them. So putting this together was finally I got to see the whole thing.
yeah.
So
I'm still looking at it.
Yeah. Well, what would be funny
cool.
is, so they're sporadic there, and my collection's all over the place. So I pulled my run, and then I just did those numbers. I put them in this graphic, and I was like, wait, those two don't match up. Dang it, is there one that I didn't tag? And I'd go through and look, and there it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah, I really love this set that he's putting together. So.
Yeah, that's all you. I'm not even trying to go down that road anymore.
Yep. Whenever you're ready, you're up.
All right. There we go. Okay. Took me a minute to get to it. Took me a minute to get away from it anyway. Next up for me is Werewolf by Night #1. I know, horror book, right? I know, but man, I love the one shot Disney Plus so much that they gave us just enough information to make me curious about this one too. And obviously this art is great. So I really have nothing else more to say about that. It's just that the Disney Plus turned me on to Werewolf by Night. And this is a #1, so I'm gonna jump back on with this one and see how long I last. And there's a bunch of covers of this. There was actually one that's I almost put in last minute instead of this one. I can't remember who the artist was, but it had a real American Werewolf in London kind of transforming werewolf cover. It was very cool. So
I haven't seen that one because surprisingly, this one's on my list.
oh yeah.
I mean, it's werewolves and horror.
In a row now. Is this the same cover you have on your list too?
Yeah, because I couldn't find. I'm gonna have to look for the one you're talking about. And while we're talking about this one, I'll add there's also Bill Sienkiewicz Hidden Gem variant. And I was like, okay, what's that? I've heard the Hidden Gem before. So from what I can gather, it's artwork that is done years ago. So it's old artwork by Bill Sienkiewicz that's going to be used for, I think it's a ratio variant. I'm not sure if it's a 1-for-1, so I think it's a ratio. So I can't find that one. That's the one I really wanted when I saw Bill Sienkiewicz. But then if it's a ratio, it's like I'm gonna pay more for it. So anyway.
All right, cool. So another crossover.
Yep.
All right, dude. Were you at 5 yet? Are you done, Pat?
No, I'm not done. I got 2 more.
Okay.
I got a lot of Art Adams this week. So this is the art of Arthur Adams, published by Flesk Publications. This is $40 soft cover, $60 hardcover, spanning all of his career, all companies. They've been working on this for a long time. In fact, they kickstarted it. I backed the Kickstarter, so you can all thank me for getting it to. I mean, they were obviously going to do this from the beginning, but with a high profile artist, as far as Art Adams goes. This is the Kickstarter, the version on the top with sort of that cloth, the end cloth binding, whatever you want to call it, is the one that I backed. It was $80 to back it through the Kickstarter, but you got it signed, and it has a little mini portfolio with 5 mini prints and 2 bookmarks. So that was the bonuses you got when you kickstarted it.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. They worked on it for many years. Actually visiting Art and getting his input and so forth. So it should be pretty cool. And if you're a fan, I wouldn't pass it up.
Did it take so long?
Sorry, Mike.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did it take so long to put together because he's so much the artwork is owned by different publishers, like getting the rights to publish it? You think that might be why it took so long?
Yeah, I don't think when it comes to art books, I'm not sure if that's a problem a lot of the time, as long as I'm not sure. I can't say for sure, but I one of the big problems was it happened right at the pandemic when they first started working on it, so they kind of shelved it for a little bit, until they could get back together. But it's when you're talking about a career retrospective too, that that's a lot to go through for somebody that's been around as long as he has. Yeah,
which one? If you have room for 150 pieces, which 150 you're going to choose from?
Yeah.
So.
Hey, you said you got one of your bonuses is it being signed as well. Does it say where he's going to sign it?
They actually they posted a picture of him. What they did was the sheet that he was signing, somehow printed those separately, and they showed him hand signing all of them, and then they send that back to the printer so it can be bound inside the book.
So it's going to be inside, not on the cover. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be inside.
Yeah, that's the way they do a lot of them, because it's just so much faster to sign sheets of paper than to open the book, sign it, stack it.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's very cool. Yeah, that wasn't on my list. I didn't even see that one in there. That's the other thing too. I mean, that's when I got to 24, I just basically stopped looking. There was more. I don't know, you know. But anyway, next up for me is Ghost Rider and Wolverine, Weapons of Vengeance. This is a one-shot. This is epic. That's all I got. I want to get this.
I talked about that last previews.
You did?
Yeah.
How was it in last previews and in this previews? I got to pay attention to that now.
Because it's more than just the one. I think there's an alpha, there's an omega.
Oh, this is omega. Yeah. This is omega.
Yeah, and then there's a 4-issue series in between them, I think. So I think the whole story is going to span 6 issues. Yeah.
So you talked about alpha. This is omega. It's a different book, Mike.
Well, I mentioned them all.
And I'm glad you said that anyway. What do you guys think about, like, if it's a number 4, like, you know, if it's a number of a book, like there was a couple of those that I hadn't realized because, you know, Lifetime, whatever. And I didn't know it was out until, and this month it's soliciting number 3.
Right.
You know, but you kind of want to talk about I want to get this whole run.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel? It's okay to cross over like that. I mean, obviously we're crossing over in the same episode with them, you know, so I'm just doubling down on what Mike said. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Get it. Yeah. I want to get it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, feel it, because if somebody's just now finding out about this, you know, omega, it's like,
Yeah,
you got to let them know there's an alpha, there's, you know, so it's good.
well, obviously me. Yeah. Like people like me. So, okay. All right. So yeah, that's cool. That's a great cover. And again, my favorite Wolverine. So anyway. All right, Pat.
Do we skip you, Mike?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry about it. I skipped you with a copy of a book you already covered. That's
right.
This price.
Because I may this might be a double. We might have doubled up on this one.
Oh yeah, that's my book, Mike. Yeah.
So we've got Predator versus Wolverine. This looks exciting. I mean, this is the Marco Cicchetto cover. There's a let me see, the Mike McCone homage covers. There's 2 of those, which is kind of exciting. These homage the Hulk 340. So there's the Predator with Wolverine in the wait a minute now. How'd that happen? I've got both of them.
So do I, Mike. That's why I did that.
Oh, you did. Okay. But yeah, so it's got the 2 homage covers. There's also a Scotty Young cover, which I wasn't able to find. So I'm excited for that. And this is Ben Percy and also Greg Land on art. I think a lot of people don't like Greg Land because I think he uses a lot of model reference, but I like his stuff.
He does, but he's so good at it. You know, it's tough.
Yep. And then also I'm excited to see the Steve McNiven variant, which I couldn't find because I really love his Wolverine stuff. I think it's really good. So, and also this isn't the first time we've seen Wolverine and Predator, by the way.
Oh,
yeah. We have Wolverine number 23, which came out. I think this was last year when they did the Predator covers. And this is Kyle Holt's artwork here. When Predator was on the variant covers for Marvel. So if you want your first Wolverine Predator matchup, I guess that's a key book now.
Well, this is just the cover. That's because it was Predator month, right? Yeah. So.
Right. Yeah. But you know, people they do that first cover appearance, first.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Costume cover appearance. You know.
The only thing I had to add to that, because we're crossing over again, was this one, this Peach Momoko.
Mm-hmm.
I grow more and more fond of Peach Momoko stuff, and I like this cover a lot. And that's actually a little. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to articulate why this is a little bit unusual for me. I usually don't like the silly, which this is kind of a silly take. And then, it's very busy with these circle tags on the corner of the image, but I love this cover. I want to grab this one too. Yeah. I'll probably grab, like you said, there's the Scotty Young, which I couldn't find either. But yeah, both the homage, and I like the A cover and this one. I'll literally probably grab 4 copies of this. Yeah.
It's funny. I didn't select this one because I'm not a fan of this cover. And Peach is, for me, it's love or hate her. There's some of her books I think are just fantastic and I love them. And other ones, it's just, okay. It's just not, I don't like that one much. And this fell into that second category. But I'm glad you put it up there.
I like everything about this cover except for the Predator. He looks like a puppy dog or something. I don't look at. I
was gonna say that I like everything about this cover except one thing that's been frustrating me a little bit with all of these 20th Century Fox books is I hate that 20th Century Fox in the left upper corner. I don't like that up there.
I kind of like that. Yeah,
I don't like it at all.
I love it on the Alien books.
Yeah, they're doing it on all the classic 20th Century Fox, properties or whatever. Yeah, so. Cool. But yeah, okay. So skip me then because I skipped Mike. Sorry, Pat, you're up again.
Okay, this is my last one. And this, we're when we get to Horizon, we're going to talk a lot about San Diego stuff, San Diego Comic-Con stuff. But this is also a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Apparently, I don't know. You can order it right now. More Art Adams. This is the Marvel art of Arthur Adams. This is a soft cover. Wow. It's going to run you $40. It's weird. I'm not sure exactly about the details of this. I think possibly they talk about in this shot right here. We probably can't read it because the banner is up there, but there's a limited edition available at San Diego Comic-Con. 100 printed with foil cover and a remarked book plate. I think that's that little Deadpool in the corner. So that could be the exclusive part of it because right now, as I speak, and I should have done it long ago because now our listeners can go in and buy up all the copies. Essential Sequential is the company. He's sort of the art rep for Art Adams currently, and he has these available to order right now on their website. I don't think it's going to be the foil version with the remark that they're talking about for San Diego. And possibly this might be available elsewhere on down the line. I don't know. I was very confused too because it looks very similar to what they used to call the Marvel monographs. And that one said the Marvel artwork of Arthur Adams. Then it had a big X-Men logo on it. And it was more X-Men focused. But of course, here in this shot I'm showing right now, they're showing the original art for the New Mutants special. So I who knows what's going to be in it. I'll let you know when I get my copy because I'm definitely going to get it. I have to order everything Art Adams. So
yeah, that's awesome. All right, Mike.
All right, this kind of falls into what we were talking about going outside the month of September here. So Strange Academy is going to have 3 one-shots. There's a Miles Morales one-shot that's going to be August 2nd. And then there's a Moon Knight one-shot that comes out September 20th. And then there's an Amazing Spider-Man one-shot comes out October 4th. And what I'm highlighting is that there's going to be 3 connecting covers from Humberto Ramos, who is the original artist on the series. Unfortunately, the Miles Morales Ramos is the only one I can find of the 3. But they do have the Moon Knight Nick Bradshaw cover. That's the A cover by Nick Bradshaw, which looks really, really great. So if you like connecting covers, and these are coming out August, September, October. So, and I imagine basically I think Miles Strange Academy is doing different things. So the story will probably connect as well.
Very
That's what I
cool.
got. I love connecting covers, as you can tell,
Yeah.
but they're frustrating.
All right. Next for me is Death Dealer 2099. I'm just going to assume no one crossed over on this because you knew I'd put it up. But
I did not see that.
that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I'm a Death Dealer fan, obviously. I have yet to read the new Death Dealers, though, I'm ashamed to say. I need to get those reviewed or get those read and reviewed soon. But then it's Death Dealer 2099. I mean, you're going to throw in some classic Death Dealer, but throw in robots and sci-fi. Man, that's a super crossover for me. So, and this is the only cover I saw for that. I'm sure they'll probably have multiple covers, but this is the only one I saw.
Yeah.
So I definitely
I like
gonna
that
pick.
one.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick this one up. That's for sure. I'll let you know.
Yep. All right. So you were out, Pat?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Next up, this is all for the cover. I have no idea what this book is all about. It's The Madness, #2.
That looks like your other thing.
Yeah, I'll get there.
Okay. All right.
From AWA, this comes out September 13th. And this is the Danielle Atrokji, the punk rock variant, which homages the Cramps record, Bad Music for Bad People. So if you're, and this is one of my all-time favorite album covers. It's a great album too.
Right.
But so that's the homage. That's the whole reason I want this book, is just for that.
It might end up being awesome.
Well, it's
If
number
you-
2, yeah.
If you decide to take the time to read it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. You're up, Kev.
All right. Next up for me, I have Crusader #1. This is by Mad Cave Studios. I think that cover's cool. It had some interiors as well.
Yeah.
It's very similar. I thought it looked pretty cool as well. And this is about a Crusader that's kind of teleported to an alternate dimension, but similar to ours. But somehow he befriends some kind of goblin that becomes his kind of guide around the new universe to get back to his old. So it's kind of a sci-fi thing that crosses over with medieval, and the art looks pretty cool. So I'm going to be grabbing this one as well.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I want that one. I didn't see it.
All right, that's it.
All right. Hopefully you guys didn't mention this before. We've got the Alex Ross Marvel Comics Super Villains poster book.
I don't think we did. I don't remember.
Comic Arts. This comes out September 6th. 37 ready-to-frame prints. I think they're easily removable. They're probably perforated. Now, what I couldn't tell was if they're double-sided. Hopefully, they're single-sided. I imagine they probably are. And there's I think there's a forward in here as well, so it's not just the prints. And what this does, and then this came out, I think, I don't know when this one came out, but there is a companion, the Alex Ross Marvel Comics poster book of the heroes. So it collects, I don't know how many covers were in that whole set for the heroes and the villains. So I don't know if these are collecting all of them or not.
But the villains is what's solicited in this previews, but the heroes was already
Right.
out. Okay.
Yeah, Heroes is already out. The Super Villains comes out September 6th.
Very cool. I'd want to grab that. That's for sure.
Yeah, you might want to grab that one too.
Yeah.
And then some frames.
Right. Yeah.
If you had this, would you? I don't know. If it's $30. Would you
All
pull
day
these
long.
out and frame all day? Yeah.
Absolutely. Given the time and the money for frames, given the time to
Yeah.
frame them and the money to be able to buy the frames, yes, definitely. You know, I've talked about that recently, where I want to do that with the ones I already have. You know, I have an Art Germ portfolio, I have a Jim Lee portfolio.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I want to do it with all those. So, I'll show you when I do.
Right. I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. They'll probably be hanging all over Xcellar, so you won't be able to miss it. So the next up is Jack Kirby's Star Warriors, starring Adam Starr and the Solar Legion. Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost did that one.
It's awesome. This is his first space, or was his first space epic series. Had you guys ever heard of this prior to seeing it in this previews?
I don't think so.
No, I didn't.
Me neither. I love it. I'm obviously a big. I like Kirby's art a lot, even though it's obviously dated. And again, crossing over sci-fi stuff, I'm all in. I'm definitely putting this in my DCBS for this month as well. So,
is that a one shot? Do you know?
No, I don't know actually. Oh yeah, no, it says I've got one shot written on it. Yep, in my notes, I've got one, it's a one shot.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
Wonder where it was previously published.
Yeah, interesting, right? It's Image. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Probably easier to grab this.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I think when in reading the description too, and see, this is the kind of thing I should just say without you haven't asked me. But anyway, I think it was saying this wasn't previously published actually.
Oh, okay.
Which seemed crazy too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they say that about artists, musical artists that passed too. You know, they still got a big library of music that was never put out. That's what they're doing with Michael Jackson. Like I heard a new Michael Jackson song that Ayla was playing recently, and she goes, "Yeah, that just came out in like 2021." I'm like, "Wait, what?" Wow. You know, it's crazy. But anyway, they did a lot of stuff that didn't get put out, so I'm gonna grab it. So
cool.
All right.
Right. My last one, and this one I'm kind of skirting the rules that we haven't set forth. Action Comics presents #1. This comes out August 30th. So, but I think they may have bumped it or resolicited it or something like that. So I'm picking it. It's Doomsday Special. And this is the Puppeteer Lee cover, which I absolutely love that. It's I think it's a one shot, and it's Doomsday, and I like Doomsday, so I want to pick this one up. But I guess it's Doomsday in hell, and we're fighting to keep them there.
That is super uber ridiculous. I love it. That's so cool. Yeah.
So that was my final one.
And this is kind of stupid. This is just because I'm on the show and I'm trying to multitask. What'd you say this is?
This is Action Comics presents.
And it's a one shot.
It's a one shot. Doomsday Special. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to add that because that is awesome.
Well, I think it's not in the current. There was only one cover that is currently available to pre-order. The other ones were last month.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you can still get it. This doesn't come out until August.
Yeah.
Just got to keep it on your radar.
Right. Okay. My last one is the Neil Adams Vault. This is soft cover, volume 1. It's just a bunch of Neil Adams art. I think it's actually black and white too. But this is up my alley of I'd envision. It didn't have any interiors on it either. And, I envisioned this as something I'd want to possibly frame if I got them as well. It's very cool. Do you know who that is? That character is on the cover too?
That's from, was it Continuity Comics that he worked for? I think he may have been part owner.
Oh, you know what? Thank you for mentioning that. This is all art from Continuity. That's what it is.
That's what I was wondering, because if you're going to do an Art Adams Vault, that's one of the last ones you would put on the cover.
right. Yeah. This is all his Continuity art. I thought I wrote that down, but yeah, you just reminded me of it. Yeah, it's all Continuity art. Yep.
He did a lot for that. And I think I wasn't sure if he started that with a couple other guys or not.
Yeah, that was that's what it said in the description of this as well, that he was the creator of Continuity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I used to have a couple issues of Sam. I think it was called Samory.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
But-
All right. That'll
Well
do
done. Well done.
it. Yeah.
There we are. There it is.
And we still had a little we had a little bit of 3 or 4 cross.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to rewatch our show, and that's when I'm gonna add all this stuff to my list.
Yeah.
But I definitely want everything you all mentioned. That's for sure. So, all right, are we ready to get into something that people won't have to wait 3 months for? They only have to wait another 4 days. You ready, Mike?
What's that?
The pick 3.
Oh, right. Yeah, this book's coming out.
Yeah, you ready?
Ready.
All right. All right, cool. What do you got, Mike?
Everything is so delayed on my end. It's taking a while.
Yeah,
for me to
it's actually happening with me too. I don't know if the viewers are going to see it that way or not, but I think Karen just signaled that it's delayed for her as well. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. We'll start.
As long as we're a train wreck together, it's all good.
Yeah, we're equally crashing.
Right.
So these are 10 covers for 10 books that are coming out this Wednesday, July 19th. And the Xcellar Group and our families have selected our 3 favorites. We're going to start with Ghost Rider number 16. This is the EM. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. EM Gist, who, if you remember from a few minutes ago, he did the Bounty Hunters 38 Cad Bane cover. There was another one he did last year that I really, really liked. I can't recall which one it was. I think it was maybe one of the Obi-Wan covers. So it's now there are 3 covers he's done that I've noticed. I need to go back and look at his stuff more often. Really like his work. So he's now on my radar. Next up, Moon Knight, City of the Dead number 1, Scotty Young. And, Scotty has that certain style. And I think this one, it's his style, but it's presented in a different manner.
Karen's going to grab that one.
Yeah, I actually, Marcus is like, Dad, you got to get this for me. So I had to order 2 copies of this one. Then Night Terrors, Nightwing number 1, Francisco Mattina. Dr. Afra number 34, Jerry Ordway. So these are the top there. I can't remember how many are going to be in this throwback variant set, 3 or 4. But this is one of them. I think it's really nice.
It is
Then
awesome.
Gunslingers. Yeah, I love the throwback look. I think you guys
Me
do too.
Yeah.
Gunslinger Spawn number 22, Jonathan Glopian. Night Terrors Punchline number 1, Dustin Nguyen. And then Hawk Girl number 1 by Derek Chu. Battle Chasers number 11, Joe Madura. And I put that one in. I'm like, you know what? The girls are going to like this one.
Yeah.
It's romantic.
I like it too, actually, though.
Yeah, so did I. Then Night Terrors Superman number 1, Christian Ward. And finally, Blade number 1, Dave Marquez. So there you have it.
All right. First thing I have to say is, and man, I hope you both agree. This is the hardest week because I wanted to put all of them in the top 3 except for one. This is the toughest week for me, going as far back as I could remember. What say you guys? Mike?
Yeah, I really liked this week. And I was what I try to do. I pick the ones that I like, and then I try to pick some that I think the other family members and stuff will like. Hence the Battle Chasers. I like that one. I'm like, you know what? I think the girls will like it too. So I really like these 10.
Pat?
That seems reserved.
It wasn't my favorite 10. Let's just say that.
How many were in the running for your top 3?
4.
2.
Oh, really? Well, hey, we've said it before. As long as there's more than 3 in the running for your top 3, it's a good week. So, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, literally do you guys want to guess, knowing me, which one is the one that wasn't in the running for top 3 for me?
Francisco Matina? No, just kidding.
No.
I'm going to guess the Christian Ward Superman.
No, Karen's got a guess too. Karen's getting ready to put her comment up. It's coming.
I think
down
she's
there.
agreeing with me.
Wait, she was agreeing with?
I don't know. I saw her pointing, so I think.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see here any second so I can reveal, because everybody's waiting.
Oh,
Red dot face. Exactly. Karen nailed it. Punchline.
Oh, the Dustin win.
Yeah, which I don't mind. That I still think that's a pretty good cover, but it wasn't in the running for my top. That was one that was not an option for me right away. So.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think that
else
was one of the best ones for Dustin.
Yeah, and honestly, the Dr. Afra, I would definitely put that in my top 3 in here, like I said, but that's one that was easier for me to drop off just because I think it wouldn't win. I'd be like, me and you would be the only 2 that would pick that one. What do you think of that one, Pat? Do you like that classic limited series look too as well?
Yeah, I voted for that one because Jerry Ordway doesn't get enough love. He's such a good artist, and I do. This is one of the instances. This is one of the instances where I think they got. Sometimes when they try to do the retro trade dress and everything, it doesn't look right. I think this one's well done.
Yeah, it's really good. I completely agree. Yeah. So, all right. So we know what number 3 is.
Yeah. My finger twitched.
All right. Let's see who the winners are.
All right. No surprise to anyone anymore. Number 3, we have Hawk Girl by Derek Chu.
Very nice. This was in I picked this one.
Yeah. I was glad to see Hawk Girl getting some love there.
Very cool cover. I love the layout. I love everything about that book.
Yeah, very symmetrical.
I don't pick up female hero books a lot except for beautiful covers, and this is definitely going to be one I'm going to grab. What say you on this one, Pat?
Yeah, I thought the layout was well done, but I don't know. There was something about it I just didn't like.
Yeah, Karen loved it too.
Karen loves it too. Mike, was this in your pick?
It was in my top 10.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I didn't vote for this one though.
Okay. All right.
And as also, I wanted to point out that I was able to remind Karen this week, so she voted.
Yeah. Okay.
In the pick.
Oh, this was her first week voting?
Yeah.
Awesome. Congrats, Karen. It's fun. I'm glad you're here.
And
What?
I wanted to see. I do initials, and Karen voted for this one. And unfortunately, your initials and her initials are the same.
Yeah.
So I had to adjust her initials. So it's KM. And so that's how I was like trying to read all my chicken scratch to see if she did. So yeah, she voted for this one.
Okay.
All right. Number 2, which did not surprise me one bit.
There you go.
We all love Scotty Young. Or let me see. Does Patrick love Scotty Young?
Not this one.
Nope, not this one.
I love Scotty Young, but I didn't love on this one either.
Oh, really?
Sorry about it.
That's all right. Enough of us did.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I really wasn't surprised at number 1. You guys have any guesses?
Yes, I know what it is. Pat knows what it is too. Don't you, Pat?
I really do not know what it is.
I know what it is. Pat, you know what it is. Hazard to guess. Hazard to guess, Pat. Karen,
Don't
no,
have time.
wait, time out.
Kevin knows what it is because his whole family voted for it.
Yeah,
As did
exactly.
mine.
Pat,
I'd have
guess.
to guess. I'd have to guess Spawn then.
Oh man, no. Well, that's not my prediction. I'm not sure if you're wrong yet or not, because obviously I could be wrong. But yeah, that Nightwing, that one.
Aaron, you want to drum roll me, please?
Boom.
Nightwing, Night Terrors, Nightwing, Francisco Mattina. Yeah,
that is
I love
awesome. Yeah, it's so cool.
And it might be the blue. Well, it's also amazing artwork, but blue is like one of those colors that pulls everybody in but Patrick.
Oh, Karen nailed all three this week. Congrats,
Wow.
Karen.
Beginner's luck.
Yeah.
Pat, do you seriously not like this cover?
Karen
No, I
won
don't like
Profits.
Yeah, Karen would have been the first winner of Profit if she tried.
I think part of the problem is this whole Night Terror stink. I don't want to support it in whatsoever, so I didn't vote for it.
All right, I'm going to elaborate on that, please, Pat, because I'm feeling the same way. But why do we feel that way?
I just feel like it well, I'll tell you the big reason. It interrupted some of the books that they just started, like Shazam. And I don't know. Whatever. It's not for me. Maybe it's for other people, but I have no interest.
Yeah, I'm with Patrick. It pretty much it interrupts the entire universe. You're not getting any Batman book, Superman book, Nightwing. You're not getting any of the core titles. You're getting this, issue 1 and 2 of these. And if you want the whole thing, you've got to buy a bunch of books that you don't normally get. It's just not. It's not wallet friendly.
No.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest problem with it is that. But yeah, I'm torn. If it's good, especially, I'm gonna be mad that I didn't get it. So I'm like so torn. I'm not getting it though, but that's. Yeah. I'm glad you guys are putting my thoughts into perspective because I couldn't exactly come up with a way I wanted to say it because, I agree with both of you. So, but then can you
supporting it?
Sorry, Mike. What?
Sorry, I interrupted you.
I was just going to ask you to put the 10 back up so I could.
Okay. I'm not supporting it except for I did buy the Zatanna cover yesterday.
Okay, I'm actually I might actually pick up that Nightwing cover anyway too. I'll probably, especially if I see most of the B covers, I'm probably gonna want to grab them off the shelf anyway. But since I said that I liked 9 of them, and I know I didn't pick Dr. Aphra because of what I said, I can't think of what my other third pick was. I know it wasn't Moon Knight too. I didn't pick that one too. Was it Blade? Did I pick Blade? Or did I pick Ghost Rider?
Yeah, you picked Blade.
Okay, yeah. That's pretty cool, right, Pat?
I looked at it as a ripoff of the movie Blade, I don't know.
It seems like that's what they're going for with this series anyway. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big hypocrite because I voted for that Superman and I just see now it's in one of the Night Terrors book.
Yeah, I voted.
It doesn't look very night or terror-y, but except for the weird wraiths, but oh well.
Yeah, I like Christian Ward a lot. I voted for that Superman as well.
Yeah, like I said, that was definitely in the running. I like that one a lot as well. So
I almost used the window shades Blade cover.
Yeah,
I almost used that one, but I didn't. Obviously.
Yeah, you sent me that one. I'm definitely gonna be grabbing that. Yep. All right.
And that's
awesome. I'm definitely going to be writing this down. Like I said, this is the first time I think ever, but as far as back as I can remember for sure, that I had 9 in the running for 3. Pat, what do you think the highest number that were in the running for 3 you've ever had in the top 10 is in the pick 3?
Are you saying? Say
In
it
one of
again,
our pick
Kevin.
3, in one of our pick 3s, what do you think the highest number that he ever had in the 10 that were in the running as possibly being one of the 3? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I Are you saying how close to liking all 10?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, it probably has never happened, honestly.
You think 9, 8, 7?
Yeah, probably 8.
Okay. Yeah, and this is like I said, I'm pretty sure this is first time for 9 for me. So great job, Mike. I took the long way around to just say that 18 times.
Yeah,
That's how passionately I feel about it. All right. So I guess we better do this.
Oh, as a reminder,
Okay.
which I just remember right now, we got to take notes for the wrap up. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, take notes
because I haven't been. We've got 2 hours of stuff I've got to remember.
Kevin, why don't you let me go first, and then so I can put all my stuff.
So you get the break. Oh yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Oh yeah, and you have to enter your stuff. Yeah, because of so many.
Oh yeah, let me get rid of.
So during your review, I'll delete all my previews. So okay, cool. All right, here we go. Let's hear about what Pat had to read.
City of the Dead.
You read City of the Dead? That's such a coincidence. I thought it wasn't out yet, Pat.
Yeah, it's not even out yet. They sent me an advanced copy.
Mike, what are you doing?
Trying to delete stuff. I didn't realize that it popped it up there.
All right, that was a joke, listeners. Mike had a picture up on his Moon Knight. Very nice, Karen. Very nice. What you got, Pat?
What I have? What did it just jumped on me? Sorry.
We can't delete stuff, Kev. It's moving.
It's okay.
Oh,
you can do
I didn't even think of that. Oh, sorry.
I read Daredevil 12 and 13.
Oh, good.
So, okay, you feel free to delete now because I probably won't switch back and forth here very often.
Okay.
Where we left off, Daredevil had made a deal with the Stromwin twins to free Daredevil's army. Moon Knight was not part of Daredevil's army.
I'll stop.
Drive over time, Pat.
Sorry. Pat's got to find his picture and put it up again.
There he is.
All right. Sorry, Pat. Go.
So Daredevil had made the deal with the Stromwin twins to release his army and Elektra from prison. In his deal would be that he'd be their servant. But the way things are going, I don't think Matt ever intended to fulfill that deal. So they did release the Fist Army, but we find out that Elektra had actually escaped weeks earlier. She's already out of there. But Matt, he read the rest of the the Fist's prophecy book, and he intends to kill the beast. He's like the head of the hand, and he wants to also, while he's at it, release the souls of all those that the hand had in their control, such as Foggy and Stick, and who else? I can't think who else was it. I'm sorry, all the world leaders that the Hand had overtaken and replaced with their sort of shadow government. So all those people are in the Beast's hell, so Matt is intending to kill the Beast and release all his friends from being captive of the Beast. The problem is, we find out that to do so, he has to die. So he travels to Japan. That's where the sort of like the gateway to the Beast's hell is located. It's in Japan. And we find out, I think this is important, and whether this is was planned from the get-go, or Chip Zdarsky, by the way, he's the writer. Marco Cicchetto is the artist on this. Forgot to mention that at the beginning. Both issues by the two of them as they wind down their run. We find out that Stick had appointed the character Blind Spot to guard this portal. If you're not familiar with the Blind Spot, he was a character introduced a few volumes back in Charles Soleil's run of Daredevil. He was like this super smart inventor. He had created a suit that made him invisible to everyone, including Daredevil. And he it was one of those classic things where he butted heads with Daredevil. He ended up teaming up with Daredevil. He ended up being overtaken by the Hand and becoming sort of their puppet Daredevil to take him down. A lot of back and forth, but he's a good guy. And in the end, he was given this task by Stick to guard the portal to the Beast's hell. So he's basically been hanging out in Japan for 5 years. Just that's his duty, to protect, to make sure the Beast never comes to Earth. So Matt goes there because he's going to slay the Beast. Tells Blind Spot, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were. Matt didn't know. Daredevil didn't know that Blind Spot had been given this task. And he says, you've done enough. You can go. I'm going to end this. So Matt was basically going to commit suicide, and Elektra shows up. She stops him. They engage in a battle, which is beautifully drawn by Marco Cicchetto. It is fantastic. And at one point, they sort of go through all the eras of Daredevil and Elektra throughout their history, showing when they first met, and they're different, like I said, different eras of their.
During the battle?
Yeah, it's sort of like
that's cool.
It totally makes sense when you're reading it.
I can imagine.
It's actually a double page spread when they do that, where they go through all the iterations of Daredevil and Elektra fighting each other.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really well done. In the end, Daredevil basically tricks Elektra, and she ends up stabbing him with her size and killing him. But it's what he wanted, because he believes that's in the book of this prophecy. He has to go to this hell to finally defeat the Beast, who's the leader of the Hand, just to end this all. So that happens. Daredevil dies. He sort of, he awakes in this afterlife, and he's greeted by his father, Jack Murdoch. And Jack sort of leads him at the end of this issue, saying, this is your path. We're going to end this once and for all. And that carries over into Daredevil 13, which is basically all takes place in this hell. We find out, sadly enough, that Matt's been duped all along, that the Beast had a sister named the Wild, and she's actually the head of the Hand. So the Beast, she's the head of the Fist. So the Beast is the head of the Hand, the Wild is the head of the Fist. And she was basically using Daredevil because she wants to one up her brother, the Beast, and kill him, and then gain all his power. So she's been manipulating Daredevil all along, and Elektra with this prophecy, just so she can, get one over on her brother, the Beast. That's when, sort of, this Matt Murdock's, his religious background, which has been, a base of all throughout his history. He's a Catholic, and he heavily believes in the Catholic faith. And even though he's gone through crises of faith, including in Chip Zdarsky's run, that's ultimately what he comes back to here. Is he realizes that it wasn't the prophecy, it was God. He has been with me all along. He's love. He's doing this for love. He wants to release all Foggy from hell, Stick from hell, and all these other people. He wants to make up for Elektra being duped by this the Wild also. So he's gonna finish this once and for all. And he does successfully release the prisoners, and basically at the end, he's ushering these prisoners out of hell. He's done what he needs to do, and he can't. He basically, it seems as though he can't make it out. He's dead. He's gonna be left alone in this hell. So, I two super strong issues, as you might expect. They have one issue to stick the landing and wrap everything up. But I kind of, this is just my thoughts. I kind of believe this is where Chip Zdarsky is going to leave this, that Daredevil is dead. Of course, somewhere down the line, he'll come back, but I think, spoilers, non-spoilers. Like I said, I don't know anything about this. I have not tried to dig in and read anything about this, but I think in issue 12, by reintroducing Blind Spot, I feel like he's going to be Daredevil in this next volume. He's going to take over the mantle of Daredevil along with Elektra. Elektra is going to probably still do what she's been doing as another Daredevil. In fact, I think I've seen pictures of her in the Daredevil costume in this new run. But I almost tend to believe in from how things have been going, that this was Chip Zdarsky, writing an overall story arc for Matt Murdock, and he's leaving him dead at the end of his arc. There'll be in my opinion, new Daredevil for this next volume, but we shall see. And of course, we all know Matt Murdock will be back at some point, but at least for the short term, that's my feeling, that we're going to get a new person under the Daredevil mask. But solid, get it. For me, it's obviously a must-have. But this last volume has just been fantastic. Going into territory, not really. You would think of Daredevil, street level hero in Hell's Kitchen. Now he's fighting demons in hell, but it all has worked. It all seems in character, and it's just been fantastic. So I can't say enough good things about it, obviously.
Dude, yeah, I haven't obviously read this, and just from the way you have told all about it up to this point, yeah, I think it's a must-have, and I've been getting it, thank God. So I'm gonna have to read it, but man, that's that's awesome. I can't believe Daredevil's dead.
Yeah,
your speculation sounds like it's a pretty logical conclusion to where it's going. So yeah, man, that's awesome.
I just can't believe that they would reintroduce Blind Spot. It sort of seems shoehorned, but it doesn't. It seemed natural, but I don't see any other reason why they would have brought him back at this point. It's too bad. I think it's Chip Zdarsky doing a favor to the next writer, and helping him out to try to continue on. But it would have been nice if they would have revealed that, Blind Spot had been guarding this portal earlier on in this series. But that's really nitpicky. But we'll see. I could be totally off base too. By the way, I could be totally wrong.
Of course, yeah.
But just from years of reading comics, it
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
like a logical jump to make. So we'll see.
And every time the statement's made, like you made with, we're going to get him back. He'll, Daredevil will be back. That reminds me of the Saturday Night Live skit. Do you remember that skit where can't remember? I think a Green Lantern died, and everybody was, all the superheroes were in the audience crying and moping and all that, and coming up to say nice things about him, whatever. And I think Green Arrow was not fazed by it at all. And when he got his turn to go up and say nice things about Green Arrow, all he did was go on this monologue about why you guys all crying? He's going to be back. No one ever dies. They're going to, it was just funny. You guys ever remember that Saturday Night Live skit?
I don't remember that. I don't think I've ever seen that. Yeah.
It's hilarious. So anyway, that was awesome, Pat. Man, I literally, when you said Daredevil died there, I literally got a little tingle, like I was reading a book. I was visualizing everything. You do a great job with your review, man. That was great.
And I will, real quickly, I will say, when he goes to hell, you'll see a new version of Daredevil, which is very cool also.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to grab it, read it. Right, Mike? Wasn't that awesome?
Yes. Yeah, I saw what I think Patrick's alluding to with the new version of Daredevil in hell. I think it's pretty cool.
All right. So I got around to reading something that I do believe it was you, Pat, that turned me on to this, because I've talk about it occasionally but regularly. Is The Expanse.
Yeah.
One of my, and I have said a couple times, this is probably my favorite sci-fi streaming TV show, whatever you want to call it, of all time now. Karen's asking, we're skipping Mike. Yes, is the answer to that question, Karen. Intentionally. Mike said he was willing to give up his time so I could have a longer What Kevin Watched.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Read Astrobots.
What?
Read Astrobots. That's what I'm currently reading. It's awesome. That's my review.
Okay. I'm gonna do this real quick, actually. I'm gonna make myself big. Just because I don't know whether anybody noticed, but it's so weird being backwards like this. The Rocinante is right here. Oh, you wanted to see it closer, Mike? No problem.
Yeah, bring that closer.
So this is the Rocinante. Awesome. This is an awesome little piece that I got from DCBS not too long ago. It actually comes off of here. Such a sleek, awesome ship.
And that's from The Expanse?
Yeah, this is the focused ship in The Expanse. And let me see if I can not take too long to put everything back to where we were.
Yeah, I didn't give you that much extra time.
Sorry, man. But yeah, there's a Rocinante on the cover of The Expanse, Dragon Tooth, #1 by Boom Studios. And this, I a bunch of cool things to say about this. But anyway, this is written by Andy Diggle, and the art is by Rue Bine, and colored, whoever. This cover is by Christian Ward. And there's a bunch of variant covers that I've looked at for this too as well. It's got E.M. Geist, you were mentioning that, Jung Yoon, I can't, however you say his name, Salvador Larocco. They're all awesome. But anyway, to get into this story, first thing I want to say about Andy Diggle, which is the writer of this, is there's this big, piece at the end of both. I'm going to review issue 1 and issue 2. There's a big piece at the end of both of these where he describes his love for The Expanse, and I won't put you through reading the whole thing, But all I can tell you is, or all I'm going to tell you is, he took the words out of my mouth. He is a huge Expanse lover. And I got on board late on this, actually. I didn't know this until I read this piece he wrote, that The Expanse was a Sci-Fi Channel original first. And it was out for 3 seasons and then got canceled. And, you know, who knows if this is exactly why it came back, but this is what he elaborated on in this piece as well, that the fans were so outspoken about not wanting to be done with The Expanse. It's kind of similar to a Firefly story. You know, everybody loved Firefly so much, it got canceled, and before its time was over, according to the fans, and then they made a movie of it. So The Expanse fans complained so much that after it got canceled after 3 seasons from Sci-Fi Network, that Sci-Fi Channel, whatever, that Amazon bought the rights, and then that's how we got seasons 4 through 6 through Amazon. And then it was canceled, and then supposedly again, he says that the fans were so outspoken about what the heck, you know, because it didn't end, it didn't have a natural ending like it was planned, you know, it just got canceled, you know. Yeah. So there was a big event that happened at the end, which I'll get into in a minute, but then he talked about how he was one of those outspoken fans about what the heck, we got to have some more Expanse, and was, you know, just, you know, pining for whether it was a movie or for somebody else to get the rights and make more TV, whatever. And then he said he got a call. Hey, you want to write this comic book to continue the Expanse? So I thought that was a really fun, interesting story, which we've talked about this a million times, you know, when they write, you know, these things, you want to go with the, you know, foundational things that everybody loves about whatever you're writing about. So it was perfect that such a huge Expanse fan would be able to be brought on to write this continuation. So that's what this literally is. This continues from season 6, right after the end of season 6. This is the continuation of that comic book. So super excited to read this. Like I said, I think Pat put it on my radar that it even existed at all. And then I was able to ask my local comic shop manager about it. And it was even funnier too. When I finally remembered to ask him about it, he just went to the shelf and grabbed the first 2 issues. The first 2 issues were out. And it was even funnier when I went up and picked these 2 issues up. It was weird. After I bought them, he was like, "You gonna grab number 3?" And I was like, "What?" Number 3 just came out last week, so I'll be continuing with that soon. But basically, The Expanse, what makes it so epic is, in my opinion, this isn't my opinion. It's a fact that there's a ton of action in this, which I love. But in my opinion, what makes this so interesting and epic overall, and the best sci-fi show I've ever seen, is on top of great action and great special effects for TV show. This could be on a big screen and still be great, in my opinion. But what makes it the best is there's so many moving parts in this, and it's done so well you don't get lost. But and this isn't a complaint for me, but I can definitely recognize why people have said this about this show in the past. It is complex from the get-go, which obviously we all know, especially if you're, you know, we're older, we're experienced with a lot of things, you know, especially if you're a younger reader or younger viewer, you're not looking for super complexity out of the gate when something. So, you know, a lot of people complain about, I just give it the first few episodes, like maybe up to episode 4, are so complex. It's a little bit tough to get through to enjoy, unless you're really uber focused, like unless you're determined to get through it. Like you've heard from Kevin on what Kevin watched on Comics and Collectibles and Crawl Space. You need to watch this. It might be hard to get through those first 4 episodes. And I think, Pat, you were mentioning your brother has a major love for this too, right? But he was saying the first season he thought was kind of that way, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, you're exactly right.
So I can't stress enough a little bit of, like I said, what Kevin watched in there, that you got to watch The Expanse. If you haven't, you need to. Trust me, you won't be disappointed if you're a sci-fi fan, of course. So to try to wrap this up in a nutshell, which is tough because, like I said, this is essentially season 7 of a series. There are 3 major players of people in this Expanse universe. There are Earthlings, Martians from Mars, and the last group is what they call Belters. And outside of, I think it's actually in between Jupiter and Uranus, there is an asteroid belt, and that is where in this future, I can't remember exactly what year specifically takes place or how far in the future it is, but most of the resources that both Earth and Mars need are in the asteroid belt. So there's a whole bunch of people that are born, raised, like generations of people born, raised, and lived there in their entire life on this asteroid belt that are doing all the work that all of the wealthy people on Earth and Mars are essentially benefiting from, while they live in, this society of hard work. Obviously it's dangerous work. People are dying, and they're not getting all of what they should, essentially. So they're called Belters, and the Belters kind of have this major resentment to Earthlings and Martians. But the reason it's complex is because the original Belters were from Earth and from Mars, so they don't, it's like not this hate thing for them. It's just this annoying, man, why are you kind of leaving us out here hanging, just doing all the work? Of course they get paid, but they just don't have the kind of lives that Earthlings and Martians have. And then of course the people that are in charge of the Belters also take advantage of the fact that they know that they kind of pull the strings with Earth and Mars anyway. So it's this big, humongous political dynamic. And then amongst all that, then they throw in these humongous, amazing adventures that have nothing to do with what I just said, but a completely separate stories. But while all that's going on, it's nuts. It's nuts, and it's awesome nuts. It's, these are the best nuts you ever had. Wait, that's not right. But anyway,
Well,
so what were you saying?
I got a question here. Do you have to have watched the show to understand what's going on in issue 1? I mean, I'm sure it helps, but are you able to pick this up and just go?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that right out the gate is, yeah, you can start reading right here without having watched anything. Okay, because what they do nicely, and it's just one paragraph, so I'm just gonna read it real quick because I could never have thought of a way to explain this in any way. But this tells what happened in the final episodes of the series right before this book starts, and it's really concise. It says, 2 years after the Free Navy asteroid bombardment, Earth's ecosystem is crippled. Mars is reeling from the exodus of its citizens to colonies beyond the ring gates and the defection of officers to separatists led by treasonous admirals. The Transport Union controls all transit and trade through the ring space from Medina Station. That's it. Now, you may not understand that exactly, but it does nothing else in this book deals with aside from that information right there, Yeah. So, like I said, got the Rocinante. It's on the cover here. Got my little model here. This is the focus. This is, equivalent to the Enterprise and Star Trek or whatever. There's a lot of other ships and a lot of other goings on, but we pretty much follow again, a better example would be Firefly. We pretty much follow the adventures of the Rocinante's crew, and it's a great crew. It's got all the typical players you'd think. It's got the mean bad butt, thug that doesn't care about anyone but will protect everyone on the ship with his life, kind of good bad guy, whatever. Of course, great captain, first mate, mechanic, and like I said, just real similar to Firefly in that aspect. And basically The dragon tooth, which is the subtitle of this, is kind of a reference to spies. Like that's what's happening in this too. Like I said, with that little forward, is Earth is reeling right now. It ended in season 6 being bombarded by asteroids. Someone redirected asteroids at Earth, so it was just bombarded. So we always hear about what happens if an asteroid is going to hit the Earth. So that's basically Earth's condition. And Mars and Earth are always kind of at odds. So Mars really still doesn't want to help them, but now they realize this is an opportunity to help them while also getting what they want. And then the Belters are still out there doing their good work. So the dragon tooth, though, is referencing spies. It just talks about, how, Mars knows that Earth has a bunch of dragon teeth in Mars and in the belt, because there's a lot of, again, spy espionage kind of stuff going on with this. Everybody pretends like they trust each other at the same time, while literally no one trusts each other except for the crew of the Rocinante. Okay, so anyway, and to try to end this as quick as I can, in issue 1, the Rocinante is just trying to get back to Medina, which is a ship, which is kind of interesting. This is from the series too. It's a ship that the Mormons built. They got tired of dealing with haters on the Earth, so they literally built a ship almost as big as a planet, kind of like the Death Star, to just exit stage left. You don't like us, fine, we're out of here, because Mormons are rich or whatever, right? So they build this ship and they're out of here. They got it stolen from them, and it's called the Medina. And essentially, the crew of the Rocinante is trying to head to the Medina to resupply and rearm up after all the war and stuff that happened at the end of season 6. And they're arrested, sort of. They're kind of not arrested, detained, because people on the Medina have been fooled by people on Earth that there's a new enemy out there that no one knows who it is, but he exists. He could be a she. She exists, and they need to go find out who that is. So that's like, hey, do this or we're going to not let you go, because they don't trust. Rocinante has a conflicted relationship with everyone. It's like they use them when they need the help, but then as soon as they don't need the help, it's like, you're war criminals. It's kind of like superheroes in that way, right? When they need them, they want to just use them like crazy. But then 2 weeks after they save the world, it's like, okay, listen, you need to listen to us now. No way, I just saved the world, kind of thing. That's how the Rocinante is. So it's totally written well. Obviously the TV show, and then this comic, I totally was tracking with all of it. So that's when you asked that question, Mike, I paused a little bit because I know all the characters. You know how it goes. So you're going to have to, adapt to the names, and they do a good job of when a character comes on, they introduce them, but then it's, how it is. It's tough to remember the characters later. Yeah. So then in issue 2, and incidentally, this is the captain of the Rocinante. His name's Holder. And he, like I said, he's just the captain of the Rocinante. And when they tell them to go out, like I said, to figure out who this bad guy is, they realize it's the bad guy that they thought died in the events of season 6. So now they have to start dealing with this guy again. And he's basically ruthless as all get out. He will kill his best friend to get what he wants, kind of thing, and that's where issue 2 ends, with the Rocinante trying to go find this guy. So again, if you're an Expanse fan, and you should be, if you're not, go watch the show. But if you're an Expanse fan, this is a must-have. If you're a sci-fi fan, it's a definite get it. So that's what I got for the Expanse. Looking forward to more. I got issue 3 in the box already, so I want to wait till 4 comes out so I can at least do 2 at a time. But I'm loving this. It's just more of the same. So
I'm glad you're digging it, because a lot of times TV for me just doesn't translate into comics. So it's good. Good to hear that there's a big fan of the series at the helm of the comic book. So
yeah, sorry, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, I can't express that enough. I think that's why it does work so well, because it's such a big fan of the series. You're not going to get the nuances that makes the fans appreciate it so much unless you have somebody like that. So it's good stuff. So. All right, man, I feel like I spent 30 minutes on getting to the book and 10 minutes on the book. Sorry about it. Anyway. All right, that'll bring us to back around to Pat again. You ready, Pat?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. All right. All right.
Lead off with our update of the HasLab Dragonfly copter from Hasbro. They've unlocked the first 2 unlockables, and there's one more left, and that's Crazy Legs. He unlocks at 19,000. The campaign ends Monday, July 17th, and they're currently just under 17,000 orders for this thing. So yeah, I think they'll probably do it, but we'll see.
If it follows whatever trend they've currently been up to at this point, does it mean they'll do it, or do they have to kind of have a stronger finish?
It seems like it's been trucking along at a steady enough pace that it should make it for this last figure.
Gotcha.
And it, traditionally, I think a lot of times at the very end, a lot of people jump on, so they're so close. I think they'll probably do it. One of the the ITs, you have to do some work this week in the horizon because we're hitting convention season, and they're, as always, a boatload of exclusives. The sort of the bane of the collector's existence because they're more expensive than the normal figures. They're hard to track down. If you can't get to a convention, you have to buy it on the secondary market. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to be showing here is exclusive related, whether it's San Diego Comic-Con, whether it's Target's Summer Geek Out, whether it's Amazon, Walmart Con, whatever you want to call it. And I'll try to let you know what's what.
Okay.
First, we're going to stick with G.I. Joe, and this is their G.I. Joe classified exclusive for San Diego Comic-Con, and that is Chuckles.
All right. Well, if I knew who that was, I'm sure that'd be cool.
You should, Kevin, because I think when he was first introduced in the comic books, the artist on that issue was none other than Todd McFarlane.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
Well, my memory is failing me, so.
A lot of extra accessories to deck out. That's usually what happens. I'm 99% sure Chuckles will be released as a regular figure on down the line. But here for San Diego Comic-Con, you're getting the special packaging. You're getting a lot of extra accessories and usually a little bit better paint deco. So if you can't get them now, you'll probably get another chance down the line.
Oh, good.
Sticking with Hasbro, and we're going off to Target. This is for the Summer Geek Out. This is Indiana Jones Adventure Series Map Room Indie.
Huh. That looks cool. That's pretty limited figure. That we're getting into those, kind of down the line figures. I guess you have to be a real completionist to get, in my opinion, when you get here.
Yeah, at least it's an Indiana Jones figure.
Right. Yeah.
1 second.
I mean, where would you?
Run out.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Where would you what?
Where would you play with this guy? Yeah, but it's a diorama thing, I guess. This would be cool for a diorama, I guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you reminded me, Kevin. We talked about the Grail setup at the last show, and I went back and I actually looked it up, and it is basically a shrunk down version of the Grail area in
Is it?
Last Crusade. Yeah.
Okay. Just remembering it wrong. Got it.
You definitely see the design elements, but it's just a portion of it because they couldn't do like the big room, whatever.
Gotcha.
All right. Jumping back to San Diego Comic-Con and Marvel Legends, we have a Deadpool and Bob, Agent of Shield of Hydra 2-pack.
That's pretty cool. Actually,
Yeah,
I actually like that box art though too.
Yeah. Again, they've released Deadpool a million times. A lot of people had issues with this Deadpool because he was lacking some paint. If you can't really tell from this shot, but like in his groin area, his black stripe doesn't continue the whole way down his legs for some stupid reason, and a lot of people were having issues with that. But their main selling point was a ton of accessories, and you can't see them here. I did find a picture, and I forgot to go back and include that. It does come with quite a few extra accessories of 2 figures that have been released before, but now in a 2-pack special case.
So basically, I'm appreciating this because I'm not a Deadpool fan. If I was a Deadpool purist, I'd not like it. Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
And Bob, the Hydra agent, that's hilarious.
Right.
I'm sure there's something in canon about that I'm not aware of, but that's funny.
Yeah, he's a pretty popular character from the Deadpool series at one point.
Okay, got it.
This is a Walmart exclusive, another Marvel Legends. This is 6-Armed Spider-Man versus Morbius 2-pack.
I've never liked that Spider-Man.
Yeah, me neither.
Same here. And it's funny because it's classic. I mean, this isn't anything new. This has been around for a long time, but yeah, I was never a big fan either.
Well, at least put red and blue sleeves on them. Maybe that.
Yes, I saw that too. What people complained about that. They could have at least made arms that had the costume. This will be $50.
In the book, does he have just?
Yeah, I can't.
I think he's this way in the book as well.
Yeah,
well, that makes sense then.
Yeah. The action figure makes sense. But yeah, that's why I was never a fan.
It would make it look better if it were actually all clothed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Morbius gets all kinds of hate too. I don't know why they, I don't know anybody aside from me that thought the Morbius movie was okay.
Yeah, movie aside, I always thought he was a cool designed character.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Which that's one of the reasons I like the movie. I'm surprised that doesn't carry it because I think he still just looks cool as heck in the movie. And it's not bad. It's just, but man, it amazes me. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen it yet.
Mike, did you see it?
Not yet.
Yeah. You guys need to check it out. So I'm not alone. Karen's chiming in that my niece liked it as well. So that's good to hear. Yeah, we're definitely in the minority. So I'd be interested to hear what you two have to say about it. So please watch it this week and let me know next week.
Okay.
Done.
I have it free on my Vudu. Oh no, it's on
Netflix. Part.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah.
I'm gonna do a little backtracking here. I was neglecting prices. This 2-pack will set you back $50. The indie is $23, Target exclusive, and the Chuckles San Diego Comic-Con is $42 exclusive. And that will lead us to Star Wars exclusives. And this I don't get this one. This is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. This is Chrysanthemum in the Star Wars vintage line. That's the 3 3/4 inch. We just had, if you can remember, a 3 3/4 inch vintage series Chrysanthemum as well as a black series. I don't know what is possessing them to make this a San Diego Con exclusive. It's basically the same figure. Well, it's a different head. The rest of it is pretty much the same, and they're saying he comes with tons of accessories, but I don't really see too many accessories in this box.
Yeah.
Again, special packaging for San Diego Comic-Con, but to me, this is not exclusive worthy for San Diego Comic-Con.
And he's not that popular either. He's so niche,
I agree.
Yeah.
This is going to be a Hasbro Oh, I'm sorry. Chrysanthemum's $40 too for a 3 3/4 inch figure.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's another point of contention there. This next one is a Hasbro PulseCon exclusive.
Sorry to interrupt you real
That's
quick,
cool.
Pat. Is there
Yeah.
any way we can tell this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive?
Not from this shot for sure.
Oh, okay. You don't
Nah.
know though in general. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like next year, like if they're selling it, like if it's more expensive because it's a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, you think there'd be some kind of identifiers. So 2 years from now, you could say, hey, look, this is a San Diego, you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I think some companies do that with certain items, but especially in the past few years, I don't think they've branded them as such on the packaging because of, things like, selling them elsewhere on their website, or I don't know. They just they don't want to lock themselves into what probably exactly what you're saying,
Yeah.
So here's the PulseCon exclusive. This is a Force Unleashed 3-pack. And it will be this is 6-inch. We're in Star Wars Black Series scale now, 6-inch figure. This 3-pack is going to run you $111.
Oh my God. I was just getting ready to say, I'm going to grab this. I was expecting like maybe 60. Damn. Oh,
so
man.
you get Star Killer, right? And
yeah, Star Killer,
and 2 stormtroopers and a bunch of effects pieces and alternate heads for Star Killer.
Yeah, that is
it's
cool.
pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know about $111 neat.
Jeez. So let me ask you.
Yeah.
Sorry, try Pat. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say a lot of recently in recent years, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the San Diego Comic-Con stuff has not sold out, and it's been able to be found on discount when they have special sales on Hasbro Pulse. But if that's you risk missing out on exclusive if you really want it,
right?
Of course.
Because the opposite thing could happen. If they sell out, then if I wait till later to buy it, people will be selling it for $200.
Exactly. Yep.
But you said this is PulseCon, so this is just how's that work? What's a PulseCon?
Yeah, it's just tied to their online. Tied to their online web store, Hasbro Pulse. And
so it'll be listed on Hasbro Pulse for a limited period of time, like in the PulseCon time frame or whatever.
Exactly. Yep. That's all. There's no physical, con anywhere. It's just going to be an online thing. It's funny. I would have used it, for the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive versus that Chrysanthemum thing, but
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Especially because almost all the time they have a small window or a small allotment available to Hasbro Pulse customers, in addition to people who are actually physically at San Diego Comic-Con. So I don't know. I don't know what their thinking is. Who knows?
You know what I want to know about this picture, though? Is this the only picture you have of this?
Yeah, it is the only picture I have.
What I'm curious about this is I wonder if you can put that lightning. Does that look like his hands? Like,
yes.
They pop out and those are hands that pop in, so the lightning's attached to them, right?
Looks like it, yeah.
That seems like it might be durable enough. Then I wonder if that could actually hold those stormtroopers up in that lightning, like the cover. You know what I mean? That'd be cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on that.
Right. That'd be cool though.
Yeah, I mean, you could always they sell tons of figure stands out there. You could put the stormtroopers on, like the clear ones, and mount them in that position.
Yeah.
These next two are Walmart exclusives, and they're tied to the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and that is what they're calling Jedi Legend Obi-Wan, sort of at the end of the series there. And Force
looks
Spirit,
exactly like he did when he was hiding for everybody not to know he was a Jedi.
Yeah,
I'm beating that joke too much. I should stop. Anyway,
and Force Spirit Qui-Gon Jinn with the old lady see-through robe.
Where did we get Force Spirit Qui-Gon? I forget. We did get him once somewhere, didn't we? Where did we get him?
Yeah, at the end of Obi-Wan. He finally
Oh, okay,
appeared to
yeah,
Obi-Wan.
okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
And that's kind of what I guess these are the Obi-Wan Kenobi series spoiler alert figures. Why they're coming out so late, I don't know. But yeah.
Ty's gonna want that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do Super 7. They've got a ton of San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, and there's no way I can show them all. I'm just going to show a few. And they have, in the reaction scale, the Dungeons and Dragons Formidable Fighter, based off the box set.
Awesome.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah,
like
he is.
the
That's
name.
awesome.
I like
Yeah,
the
I like
name
that.
too. Formidable Fighter.
These reaction, they're like pretty simple as far as what you would call it, the articulation.
Articulation,
right. So he wouldn't be able to. Sorry.
Yeah, basically, reaction figures are standard 5 points, and unless otherwise noted.
Gotcha. That looks pretty cool, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have prices on any of the Super 7 stuff, but I guarantee it'll be more than their like these. This would normally be a $20 figure. I bet you he's going to be $30.
Yeah.
As an example, moving forward with the Super 7 stuff, I'm going to talk about.
There's more than one reason I'd want that anyway. I'd want it for the figure, the art, the nostalgia, just everything like that. That's an awesome. I'd love that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is something I'd never heard of. Probably because I wasn't such a big Turtles fan. But apparently there was a mail away Shredder figure through Chef Boyardee. So they're doing that figure in reaction format, sort of, and it's going to come in a faux Chef Boyardee can. And that's this Shredder Chef Mummy B exclusive for San Diego Comic-Con.
I don't know anything about it either, but I'd imagine if I did, that'd be awesome. Right, Mike?
Yeah, I like that one.
Do you know anything about it, the mail away Shredder? Did you try to get it back in the day?
No, I didn't follow Turtle stuff.
Okay.
I haven't eaten Chef Boyardee for a while either. So
yeah, my mom would never buy us Chef Boyardee stuff when we were little either. That's another weird thing she wouldn't get us, along with Pringles.
Oh man, you missed out on Pringles when you were a kid. Dadgum.
Yep, that was another one of the things that we weren't to get. They weren't real potato chips.
Yeah, right. All right.
This is we're gonna go Godzilla here for the rest of the Super 7 stuff. And this is the reaction. This is a special version of the reaction figure. This is Godzilla 54, train munching Godzilla.
That's awesome. I love that. I meant to tell you, since you're on this, you just reminded me. My birthday, went past. You know what I got? I know that's rhetorical. Never mind. King of Tokyo. I got the King of Tokyo monster box, which is the King of Tokyo core game with all of the expansions in one box.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't wait to play that. I know you mentioned you played. I know you said you didn't really remember too well how, but we're gonna have to hook that up. But yeah, I'm gonna be totally into these kind of things here soon. As soon as I bust this box open and get somebody to play with me.
Yeah, well, remind me after the show. We'll talk about that monster box.
Okay.
This and more Godzilla related stuff. They had shown this carded before, and I mentioned this that I hope they do a boxed version, and sure enough. They did for San Diego Comic-Con. It's the boxed reaction Rodan Shogun Warrior version. Now coming in a box. That's the way I want him. So I'm gonna probably try my best to track this down because I have the Godzilla.
That's very cool. Speaking of Rodan, did you guys see there was a Rodan solicited in the previous previews too? Did you see that? It was I think it was a statue though. It was really cool.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it. Last thing, and this is this is an Ultimates figure from Super 7, and that's sort of their 7-8 inch, and they've been doing some Godzilla in that scale. And they're doing this based here. I'm going to show the comic that it's based on. back when Dark Horse had the Godzilla license, Art Adams did this cover. So they're releasing this Godzilla King of the Monsters comic book version.
Wow.
Well, that's pretty cool. Did you
He's got
say
a
how
guy.
big that is? How big is that?
I think he's like 8 inches, 8 or 9. He might be. I think their general scale is 7 for Ultimates, but because they're the monsters, I think they're 8 or 9.
That's cool. That
Yeah.
reminds me too, Mike. Do you know who picked up Conan too? The rights to Conan. Did you see that, Pat? Either one of you?
I saw it when I was looking through previews, but it doesn't stick in my mind who it was.
Titan.
Titan, that's right. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad he's back.
Yeah. They've got Titan does, I think the quality of their books, like the paper and the stock and all that, I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
More so than Marvel.
All right. Sorry for another interrupt, Pat. Can't help
No,
myself.
it's all right. Did you guys know it's the 85th anniversary of Superman? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, DC put out a graphic.
Huh.
And
85.
yeah. Remember that Time magazine when he was 50, Mike? He was 85.
Yeah.
I love that graphic there.
Do you like it so much that you'd be willing to buy a McFarlane action figure of it?
Huh.
Holy cow! Wait a minute.
So yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, you have the same opinion of just about everybody else on the planet, Kevin.
Okay,
Because
good.
everybody had a bad reaction, a negative reaction to this. I don't.
It's a
get
great idea. It just didn't work.
Yeah. This looks like a toy that my kid got a hold of when he was 4, and he was playing with it around his sister when she was 4, and she was painting at the time, and they got in a fight, and his sister got mad at him and painted the heck out of his toy just to be mean to him. That's what that figure looks like. That's pretty good, right? Wasn't that a good elaboration?
I mean, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it didn't translate well. It's action figure. Didn't work. How much is it?
I do not know that.
$573.
Yeah. How many did they make?
I mean, even I like the presentation here and everything. The box looks great. The figure, I pass.
Didn't work.
But yeah, so I sort of sprung that on you. We're talking McFarlane now for the rest of the duration here, and we have some exclusives. These are San Diego exclusives. Dead Lantern, not really familiar. Imagine he's from the whatchamacallit.
Well, like the metal stuff.
Yeah,
Dark Knight metal and all that.
yeah. His take on Alan Scott Green Lantern, who we'll see in a little bit again further down the line here. He's kind of cool, but just, I mean, I imagine this is a lot of reuse to get the exclusive niche version of an existing character. Joining him for San Diego, yeah.
I was going to say I'd like that if flames weren't coming out of his eyes. That's weird.
Yeah, I think that's part of him being the Dead Lantern.
Right.
Well, you'll probably like the regular one I'm going to show later on here.
Okay.
We have this is pretty cool. This is Nightfall Batman. Again, that same kind of box the Superman came in. This is the famous story arc where Batman his back was broken by Bane. And here's a picture of the actual figure itself out of the box. I mean, he's a Batman, but I think he's well done. And a lot of people wanted that version.
It would have been cooler if when you take him out and pose him like that, he bends over backwards.
Right.
Well, he is a McFarlane figure, so he might just break in half when you get him out of the box. So. Sorry, that's not just McFarlane these days.
Yeah.
Shouldn't take such a harsh dig at Todd. because he does get a lot of different. He tries a lot of different things, like like the Superman 85th, which is a fail, but he does other things too for the fans, like re-releasing the Batman 89 Batmobile this time with Batman. We still don't know if he can fit in the cockpit of the Batmobile, but Kevin, I gotta tell you, I totally missed a perfect joke last time when you asked if the Batman figure would fit inside that Nightfall armor. I was like, it might fit, but Todd's not gonna show us if it doesn't.
Yeah. But yeah, this is I saw this. This is way better than the other one, that's for sure. You know what I think it is too. In my, what were you gonna say, Pat? Sorry.
I was gonna say they addressed. I guess there was a problem with the cockpit being a different color than the rest of the Batmobile, and they supposedly addressed it with this.
Okay, yeah. So when I was looking at this, there's two things, and it's just a little bit more coloring. Of course, I think is better, which it's got. But then also, this is like a flat black, which translates much better than which I know in the movie it was kind of shiny, but I just think as a toy, I think the flat black looks better than it. I think that was the other thing. It was so shiny you could tell it was like a cheap plastic. This kind of looks more legit. It might be the same exact cheap plastic, but doesn't the plastic look different that way as well, or am I crazy?
Yeah, it might be the paint job, because it's definitely probably the same plastic. I mean, they're using the same mold, same factory, probably.
Yeah,
so it's probably,
okay.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I think this shows off the lines of the car a lot more.
Yeah.
Okay. This is $75 again. Todd keeping it affordable. I think
oh yeah, especially with a figure. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah.
For some reason, I didn't think this was the case, but this picture, as you can see, has an Amazon logo on it. So I don't know if it's exclusive to Amazon. I don't know how many places this popped up besides. I know some people ordered from GameStop. I know I've seen that, and a lot of people order it from Amazon. So if you missed it the first time, here's another chance, and you get a Michael Keaton Batman along with it.
Cool.
These two are re-releases with a special paint job. These are, I just want to make sure I'm okay. Yeah, these are Amazon exclusive. This is John Stewart Green Lantern, and I'll show you the other pic that shows his glow features. He's the same figure that's been released before, but now he has a glow in the dark paint job. And the one I think so the one I think this works better for is their awesome Swamp Thing figure, which I'll show you the glow version of that. Minimal, but I think it works. I mean, it's pretty cool. This if you haven't seen their oversized Swamp figure in the stores, it's pretty great.
It looks great. Yeah.
He's huge. I mean, and he's really nice sculpt job and paint job on him. So if you want a glow in the dark version, there you go. I think it works with Swamp Thing.
Yeah. I like them both a lot. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so these last three McFarlane figures are, I think this is a new line for them. It's the DC Multiverse, of course, as usual, but these are branded as collector's edition figures. And Mike actually brought one of these to our attention on, I think, just the private Xcellar group a few weeks ago. And I didn't see what he was saying at first, but I sure as heck see it now with additional pictures. And in fact, I blew up so you could see. This is the first of all, the first appearance Superman.
No. Yeah, I don't like that at all.
And I think this strengthens Mike's comment even more. I don't know what he
was
thinks.
Mike's comment?
What did I say it was?
Yeah, what did you say?
Man, I thought this made it really apparent. You thought he looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, the face. Yeah.
And I didn't know, that the logo looked like that either. Which obviously, I guess if I scrutinize even just the cover, you could see it, I'm sure. But yeah, that does look right. What's up with the blue too? Even in that picture he's got in the box,
Yeah.
the blue is darker.
It seems a little light on the figure. Yeah.
Mhm.
And here's your real version of Alan Scott Green Lantern for you, Kevin.
Yeah, see, that's cool.
That looks good.
Yeah.
I like that.
No fire coming out of his eyes.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, I've always liked Alan Scott Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And the final one is a character I'm not familiar with, again, probably from one of those event books from DC. This is Batman from the Abyss, not the James Cameron movie, I don't believe, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a bit like the box says just Abyss, not Batman. For some reason the texts talked about him being a Batman, but maybe he's just a villain. Abyss.
Isn't
From
he,
a Batman book or something. Yeah.
I'm not up on the Batman stuff, but isn't he like within the last 30 issues or something like that? I think he's fairly new. I could be wrong.
Could very well be. Could very well be. I might be totally off base there.
Well, it looks
looking
cool.
at the picture
He looks pretty
now,
cool.
yeah, it seems. Looking at the picture now, it kind of seems like he's just he just might be a villain from Batman. And I got it wrong there. I thought he was a version of Batman, but I don't think so now.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah. Like I said, a lot of exclusives coming out, and so I tried to gather a bunch of them up for your Horizon. And one last thing for the Horizon, I figured I'd give them a mention. This is their second year. This is the Butler Area Toy Show, which will be happening next Saturday, July 22nd from 11 to 4 at the Clearview Mall. This time versus Butler Vagabonds for the first year. I think I read they're being set up in a storefront on the Dick's end of the mall, if you're familiar with the mall. So they've got a big area to work with, and it should be bigger and better than last year. And maybe
Seems like
I'll
a much
see you
better
there.
success then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
So
walked
that's it for the Horizon. That's it.
Yeah, issue 118 of Batman is the first appearance of the Abyss, the character. So that's why I think
Perfect.
Joshua Williamson was writing at the time. So it's not that long ago.
Yeah, good deal. So he's just a Batman villain. Good to
Yeah.
know. Thanks, Mike.
This is a new one.
So the question is, I felt like that was one of the hooks coming off stage. Going in, just shut up, Kevin. Then the question is, do me or you guys, for that matter, or Karen, tell Tyler about the toy show, or do we call him out when he doesn't know about the toy show because he didn't watch this episode?
Right. Yeah.
What to do? No, we got to.
Yeah, I'd say you got to tell him.
Yeah, I know. You guys wouldn't do that to me, so I shouldn't do it to him. So be good.
I shared a Venom thing with him. It was like a store exclusive. I don't even remember when it was. I think it was on Instagram. I shared it with him, and he just saw it yesterday, and I think it's since passed and sold out. And he's like, I don't get on Instagram very often. So it's like, okay, I'll have to share it a different way, something that he looks at a little more often. So yeah, I felt bad because he probably would have jumped all over it had he seen it.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about Mike from New York yesterday, because Mike shared that post with Tyler. I think he did it in the group though, about that Venom phone case.
Yeah,
that's what's always been cool about Mike. When he thinks of stuff like that and he sees something that brings you to mind, he'll share it with you. He's a good dude like that. So
yeah, he's always been really good at spending my money for me, saying,
right.
I know you're looking for this. Boom.
Yeah. Well, we do our best with that as well. So,
yep.
Man, I would love to come up with that, to check out that toy show, but it looks like if they're moving up, then they're successful. So they'll be around for a while to come. That'd be cool to come to.
Yeah, we'll see. I think they're also doing a card show this year at some point too, because they've had enough interest.
Do you have a speculation at what creates the con season? You know, like, wouldn't it be great if they were spread throughout a year? So like all the cons weren't happening at the same, because there's a new con too that my sister Karen actually gave me, keyed me in on, that's happening in Akron in Ohio. But that's like, I think it's the first week in November. And we're going, of course, to Baltimore. So I'm not going to have money.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but anyway, I asked you a question.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to answer. Yeah.
It's tough because especially during the summertime, it seems like there's a convention somewhere every weekend. If you follow, a lot of artists, they're always hoofing it around from city to city during the summer. So
Yeah, get out in March.
Seems like con season is a 12-month event. It's 12 months. It's always.
That's what I'm saying. There isn't. They don't do any from like January to May. I mean, it's like, but anyway, I'm acting like if they spread out, I'd go to them all, but that's not going to happen either, because I spend so much at one, I can't afford to have it until next year anyway. So. All right, awesome job on that, Pat. That moves us to the funnest part that everybody enjoys so much, the recap. Prepare yourself. All right, I'll go first. Still, do not forget to always give all shows the full ride, because they might end up in the end that you'll regret it if you don't watch it through its entirety. See Silo Season 1.
Yep. If you're going to do a live stream, be sure to click the Go Live button.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's right there in the corner.
Well, I was gonna, say, sometimes things are better the second time.
Right.
Practice makes perfect.
I'm gonna add on to that. People mistake me for Max all the time. Happens regularly.
Yeah, it's a shout out to Max for the intro today. It was good he was able to do that while I was home.
Yeah, Karen's chiming in on hers. It's good to have a team during a train wreck. That's a good one, Karen. So, Pat, I think it's you now.
Pick up The Expanse and Daredevil. Seems like really strong. Get its must-haves on the precipice of must-haves from Kevin and I. Really well done books. So go out and get them.
Be sure to vote. It's Kevin's turn.
Well, I was actually, that's yours being next is perfect. I was just going to say, never doubt that even at the last minute, Pat will come up with a great logo for Cover Combat. And I'm just going to say this now, and this is going to add more pressure to Pat. Sorry, Pat. It just seems like the Cover Combat logos get better as the number at the end of them gets larger. So great job on that, Pat.
Yeah, we'll see how that holds out.
Yeah.
Be sure to vote on Cover Combat 5. It's up live right now on our Facebook page. Go vote.
Brace yourself for convention season, everyone. Whether it lasts 6 months or 12 months, it's going to be tough on your wallet.
You're right. And I don't even know if we said, Karen, sorry again, Karen. Cover Combat 5 gets 5 stars. Okay, nice, Karen. And we're just getting started. We'll see. I was just going to say, and get your previews orders in. Everything we showed today is for September, October release, right? It could be a mixed bag on that. So, yeah.
I had some stats. I don't know where they are.
Oh, and you were going to come up with the next preview, not to call you out, Mike, but remember this next time for previews. Weren't you going to try to find that number that you said they have in the book, that if you bought everything in the book, how much that would be? I'd love to hear that one time.
Yeah, I actually need the book for that.
I have it. I'll see if they still do it.
Okay.
One other method I could use is the DCBS spreadsheet. You could just give a total of everything in the spreadsheet. That'd be close.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I had a stat somewhere. It's probably on my notes. I can't remember.
What you got next, Mike?
Oh,
Oh wait, no, you just did that.
What did I do?
Oh no, you didn't. It was me. Sorry, your turn.
That was me. On average, Patrick likes 4 out of 10 covers, while I like 10 out of 10.
That checks out.
That's gonna be my next one too. Anyway,
I don't have anything else, so you can come up with another next one.
my last one here is just Pat hates Matina so bad. Apparently, he can't even tell when an awesome Matina is going to win the pick 3.
I can't.
I'm so blinded by it.
So gel in my eyes.
Oh yeah, Karen. That's Mike. You got if you don't have a recap right now, there's one for you. Karen's got on the. Karen, it's kind of gratuitous for you to be using that as a recap. We'll let Mike pretend he came up with it.
Karen unofficially won the Profits this week by picking all 3. Her 3 favorites were our 3 favorites on pick 3.
And so yeah, that's it. I was just gonna say the new listeners are like, "What the heck is the Profits?" I don't even know what that is.
Oh, yeah. We'll bring it back someday.
Someday.
Yeah. So comment below. This is my last one. If people want to comment there, things that they're up, upcoming books that are on their radar that we may have not touched on in previews.
Yeah, that's in the comments. And hey, if anybody does end up being curious as to what the Profits is, I'll set it at 3. We get 3 people in the comments that ask. What's the Profits, or when's the Profits coming back? Just mention the Profits. We'll bring it back, right, Mike?
Yeah, you get the prize.
Just a quick one too. Kevin already mentioned it, but I was trying to keep it in my mind for the end. But he already said it. Was that up there? I noticed the happy birthday balloons, and we didn't get a chance.
Yeah.
We were off. But wish Kevin a happy birthday, belated happy birthday. So
thank you. It was a good one. We had a lot of fun. I played a lot of games. That's how my family knows that if they want to make me happy on any given day, hey, Dad, you want to play a game? Absolutely. Yeah. So, all right, let's close this marathon up. Please like and comment on this video, as well as subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications when we go live, and sometimes we'll be live before you even know it. Then please subscribe to Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space on Spotify for podcasters or many other podcast providers. And please listen to the edited podcast of this live stream on Spotify that will be posted later today or tomorrow. Follow Xcellar Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and or Twitter, and follow Xcellar_comics on TikTok and whatnot. Watch our shows on the Whatnot app weekdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have to mention this right now. Apologies are due for about 12 people. I've had 12 people bookmark my next Whatnot show, but in my defense, but this still isn't really a good excuse, because I've just totally screwed the pooch on Whatnot over the last week and a half. Ever since Max has been home. At first it was Max's home, and then my entire family came down, and then I actually got sick a little bit, and then Max is still here. So and basically when it comes to any night, especially unfortunately calling out my own Whatnot show for a minute. I don't have spectacular Whatnot shows. You know, if I have 3 to 5 people in there, it's a good show. And if I sell 5 things, that's a good show. So you can tell how it is normally. So it's really hard for me to sacrifice time with my son, who's getting ready to go on deployment again tomorrow. He's not going on deployment tomorrow, but he's leaving me tomorrow, and he's going to go on another deployment before I see him again. You know, it's really hard to sacrifice that time when I have it to do a show. So that's my number one excuse as to why I didn't do any shows this week. And, you know, basically I just kept moving, rescheduling the show that I have people bookmarked on. So I'm sorry about it, but I hope you understand that, you know, I'm just trying to go with these priorities. Like I said, it's not much of an excuse because I just should have scheduled it the next show after he left. But I currently have it scheduled for tonight. But if he sticks around, because that's the other thing, when he's home, his schedule, you know, everybody, you know how it goes. Everybody wants him. Everybody wants his time. So I don't know when he's going to be here, when he isn't. So I'll schedule a show assuming he's not going to be here, and then he's here, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to not hang out with him, whatever, you know. So and like I said, with the whole rest of my family here for a bit, I wasn't going to interrupt that time for a Whatnot show, stuff like that too. So please be understanding of the last week and maybe another couple days, but after that, I'll get back on track, at least 2, probably 3 shows a week. And that'll be next week because Max is, like I said, he's leaving tomorrow. So I'll be back on track no later than next week. So please be patient with me. But check out our shows on the Whatnot app because when they do happen, they're awesome. Lots of great deals with lots of good stuff. So check us out there. And then check out what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comics and on our website. I added another book. After the last show, I'll do the same thing when I'm editing and doing the podcast after this show again. I'm going to add at least one new option every show. So check us out there. Well, hopefully we'll get more, but that's at least what's happening now. And then watch our next live stream on YouTube or Facebook next Saturday, 9:30 a.m. ish Eastern Standard Time. And I'll remember to hit the live button next time, and we'll be closer to 9:30 a.m. ish next week. So. Thank you very much, Karen, and thank you for everybody to stop by the show. Viewers go up and down during the show, so I know it's kind of long. Really appreciate everybody that even stops by for a short period of time. So you guys got anything else?
Nope.
We'll see everybody next Saturday.
All right. Yeah. Once again, until next time, don't forget, appreciating great art is awesome, and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.